We're live. Hello. Hi there, everybody. So I'm on about a minute or so early, should I say. So it's 1000 Black Boys, March 2021. It's going to give you a few minutes to log on and join us. We've had a few people register for this, quite a few actually. So I'll give them a chance to be online. Hi, welcome everybody. How are you doing? Hope you're good. So we're going to start properly in about, let's say 3 minutes or so. It's when the clock hits 33, we'll start then. We'll begin then, so give people a chance to come online and to join us. And if you register for this, hey, well done. If you're just clicking on and thinking, what's going on here? So give me about 15 minutes or so and I'll elaborate. And I'll tell you what we're doing today. And I'll also tell you about the amazing lineup of incredible speakers that we have today. We've got some of them backstage already. So it's going to be a very, very inspiring, amazing, phenomenal, audacious kind of day. So welcome to that. If that's what you're up for, come on in. Welcome for joining us. So for those of you that are joining us on Facebook, hi. Those that are joining us on YouTube, hello. Those that are joining us on Twitter and Periscope, welcome. Great to have you on. And feel free to engage with us. Put some comments into the chat. I'll get to see them. I think there's a slight delay, but I still get to see it when it comes through. And yeah, just interact with us. So normally, up until we started to do the online sessions, we would be in person and I could really engage with you in the room and interact with you. But right now I'm in this room and we're doing this all online. So your interaction does make a huge difference to my experience and ultimately to your experience. So let us know who you are. Hello, Louis Pa, how are you doing? So yes, so let us know who you are. If you let us know how you found out about this, whether you registered, you got an email, or maybe you know some of the speakers. Yes, maybe that's like your friends and family. Great, tell us about it. So welcome. So today's event, I'll kick off properly in 2 minutes, and I'll share my slides with you. So giving people a chance to just log on and join us. But today's lineup is like, wow. We are starting with a very powerful conversation around about 3:50, talking about mental health and talking about this incredible organization called the Brave Project. And it's going to talk about what they're doing and what they're up to. And then after that, we've got this amazing social entrepreneur called Makeda. Her company is called Makeda Makes. And they do some phenomenal work. And it'd be great to find out about what she's doing and also how you can connect with her, how she can help you along your journey. Luipa Rihanna, I hope I pronounced that right. So the name is Rihanna Tamara Ebanks Babb. Did I pronounce that correctly? If I did, please let me know. But great to have you on, Rihanna. And yeah, don't be shy. You guys aren't shy. Anyway, how can you be shy in 2021? In the age of social media. So feel free to give me some comments and say hello. Let us know who you are and where you're logging on from, and also how you find out about us. And I'll just sit here looking at you all. Can you see me looking at you? So look, that's the camera, looking at you right there. Yes, I did. Amazing. So I pronounced Rihanna's name correctly. So Rihanna Tamara Ebanks Babb. What a lovely name. Right. Okay. So welcome to March 2021. It's the 1000 Black Boys event. I'm going to go through my slides with you, ladies and gentlemen. It's very exciting here today. Come on, slides, work with me. So let me tell you about who I am and why we do what we do. So my name is Ademola Adeyeba. I'm the founder of 1000 Black Boys. And as always, for those of you that are logging on, thank you very much for being here and well done for being here. It's 3:30 on a Saturday afternoon and you're here to get some inspiration, whether you registered, whether somebody told you about this, or whether you're just clicking on. So well done for being here. Thank you very much. Hi there, Natasha from East London. Nice to have you on. I know one of the speakers, Donnell. Awesome. Yes, they do incredible things at that place. We'll get to find out more very, very shortly. So this is our 6th online event and our 8th event in total. We took this online June last year. Before that, we did 2 events physically, actually both in Croydon. Not that I'm from Croydon, but it was just where we had the opportunity to go. And when lockdown happened, we were like, we still want to make a difference to our people. How are we going to do this? And then we just took it online, you know? And then since we've been online, we've reached more people. I estimate that we reached about 5,000 plus people in 2020 during lockdown, during COVID. So don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't do anything. Don't ever let anyone tell you that what you have, because of circumstances, you've got to sell out on it. Don't do that. So this is our 6th online event. It's our 8th one in total. And for those of you that are with us, please share this. So share this, press like, join our page. I sound like one of those YouTube bloggers. Like, make sure you subscribe, like my channel, all that stuff. Yes, do that. Please go for it. And share this. Let other people see this as well. So welcome. So 1000 Black Boys, who are we? So we are entrepreneurs, a group of entrepreneurs. We're business owners, professionals, we're coaches, we're mentors, parents, sons, daughters, brothers and sisters. So basically, we're just like you, and we have a passion for making a difference to young Black boys, young Black men. And our vision is really clear. When young Black boys and young Black men get who they are and they get their power and their potential, they're going to be starting new businesses that we've never seen before. They're going to be starting businesses that become multi-billion-pound businesses, inventing new types of social media. And when that happens, who does that benefit? Benefits everybody. Everyone gets it. So that's our vision. And I'll share more about that with you very, very shortly. So that's who we are. And we're also aware of the media's narrative about Black boys and young Black men. We know all about this stuff, right? The perception in society, the economics, the school system, talking about the school system. So there was this article in The Guardian on the 24th of March, so like 3 days ago, right? And it was saying that exclusion rates is 5 times higher for Black Caribbean pupils in parts of England. And I was talking about racism within the system. We're not surprised about the racism. The stats not even a surprise, really, but that's the perception. And for us is we don't want our young people to believe the lie. We don't want them to believe the lie that they can't do it, that they're somehow inferior or they've got blocks. No, 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 no. We don't want that. So that's why we're doing this. So we want them to see the opportunities and get their power. So that's why we put together these events and why we have amazing speakers online. And thank you for joining us. Jay Benjamin from Nottingham, how are you doing? John Vargas, nice to have you here as well. Thank you. And Louis put from sunny Glasgow. Do you believe that Glasgow is sunny? I don't think so. So we don't want you, so anybody around us, to be angry, afraid or confused. We don't want that, because when you're angry, afraid or confused, your limbic system, the central part of your brain, has taken over your actions and your operation, and you're no longer in control because you're angry, you're afraid, and you're confused. So we don't want that for you. So in terms of coaching, I'm one of the leading mindset transformation and leadership coaches in Europe. I train to a higher level with a global company. So I know about how this works, and I have to really master it. So when you are angry and you're afraid and you're confused, your brain has been hijacked by the limbic system. So we don't want that. What we want for you is, we want you to be calm, focused, and strategic. Because when you're calm, focused, and strategic, you're now using the frontal lobe part of your brain. And that means you can make powerful choices, things that really further your dreams and your ambitions, right? So that's what we want you to have. And our message is one of potential, vision, and power. That's our message. That's why we are here. That's why we do what we do. So I'm going to share our vision with you. And some of you might have heard this from previous events that we've done. And if that's the case, yes, Rihanna, the chimp takeover. Perfect. The chimp takes over. And I've actually got an acronym for that, which is what I train people on. But yeah, the chimp hijacks the brain, and the person is no longer in control. It's nuts, but it happens to every single person unless you can master it. So I'm going to share our vision with you. And like I said, if you've heard it before, just listen newly, because repetition is the mother of skill and the father of mastery. The more you hear something or you practice it, the more skillful you become with it. For some of you might be new, which is awesome. Thank you for listening to this newly. And I'm going to say to you as well, have a vision. For anything that you do, have a vision. For 2021, have a vision. Absolutely have a vision. So let's go through this. So our vision, the short version, we've got two versions to our vision, is we exist to inspire Black boys and young Black men to unleash their potential and to live a life of purpose. We think that's powerful. Our full vision, so we exist to empower Black boys, or to empower and enable Black boys and young Black men to discover their greatness, unleash their uniqueness, to innovate and to create things that have never been done before. We want them to have the audacity to dream big, and in so doing, transform the world. And why are we doing this right now? We want to inspire and empower you. That's our job. Our job is inspiration. And I'm not talking about motivation. So what we do is inspiration. And the word inspiration is from a Latin word. And the root word of this is to breathe life into something. Is to draw air into the lungs. That there's aliveness. That there is, wow, that's what we want to do with you today. And that's our job. So the current mood at the moment is one of, I walk around and I coach different people. A lot of people are generally demoralized at the moment, or they're generally confused and they're generally just down. So we don't want that to continue, So we also know that there'll be challenges sometimes in life. It happens. But ultimately, we want you to know that you have the power to pull through it and to transform it. That's what we want you to know. Right. And some of you and some people that we know are doing incredible things, and we want you to meet them so you get to see that they are doing amazing things in life, and have you say, wow, if they can do that, then so can I. Or what if I reach out to these organizations or this person and I partner with them? We could really further both our visions. And that is what we're about. So our core message is for Black boys and young Black men. And like I said, and those who support them, parents and guardians, and every single person benefits from that. Okay, so today there'll be tips, ideas, and contacts for you to keep moving forward, which is our theme for this March event. It's about keep moving forward. So you're going to meet entrepreneurs, business people, coaches, mentors, poets, and leaders. So this has been streamed live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope. So please share this with people and subscribe to our channels. I sound like one of those YouTubers, but yes, please subscribe and like our page. And what else happens? And Twitter, follow us. So when we do things, you get information about that. So I want to take you through the agenda. Let's have a look. So I've got two screens. If you see me looking this way, it's because my other screen's on this side, right? So let me just quickly take you through the agenda. Awesome. Right, let's see if you can see this. Let me expand this. Okay, expanded. So literally, we've got what I call a mindset panel. So can you see my screen? Let's have a look. Make it bigger, bigger. There we go. That's pretty big. So we've got a mindset panel. We have Donnell Grant, Ashan, Mikolo, and Chris Eiffel. They're part of the Brave project. We're going to go through what does it mean to be brave? And they're going to share some really interesting things with us. And after that, so literally this ends at, what happened there? There we go. So that ends at 4:30. At 4:35, I've got Makeda, the founder from Makeda Makes, speaking with us for half an hour. And after that, we've got an entrepreneurial panel session. We have Amy, who's doing some fantastic work with an organization called the School of Social Entrepreneurs. I found out about this organization last year, and they're doing incredible things. And we're working on, because when I say we, they've asked 1,000 Black boys to be involved in this. We're working on creating a program for Black social entrepreneurs to literally fly through different barriers and to have the right contact, access to revenue, access to mentorship and coaching to grow their social enterprises. I think that is pretty amazing. And as part of that program, I've got Michelle Thompson from Learning in Action and also Kondwani from Fresh RB. And this panel is about, I call it the extra large pink elephant in a black and white room. And it's the kind of conversations that people like to avoid. So some things people, do you know, like earlier I shared about the Guardian article, which was talking about the exclusion rate for Caribbean pupils, right? So we've known that about racism within the school system. Yeah, we know about this stuff, right? So I call that imagine, use your imagination. You're in a black and white room and there's this extra large pink elephant. And then you say to someone, hey, can't you see that pink elephant in the room? And the person's like, what pink elephant? You're like, oh my days. Almost like, how can you, like, where do we even start this conversation? So we're going to discuss that. And then after that, we've got an amazing group from the 100 Black Men of London. We've got the whole team here. And we've also got a new addition to this lineup. And we're talking from just a few minutes to 6, till 6:40. And we're reintroducing what they do, 100 Black Men of London. We're meeting the team, and you get to see essentially the results that they've produced with young black men and young black boys. So that is what we're doing today. And then by 7 p.m., finish, close, see you later. Okay, so back to this thing here. Here we go. Right. Like I said earlier, have a vision for 2021. It's not okay. Let me look at you real quick. It's not okay to go through this year without a vision. Don't do that. It's like you get onto a plane without a destination. You wouldn't get on that plane. So why would you live your life without a vision? Stop it. Yeah, that's my coaching. And with vision, there's a book I'm currently reading. It's powerful. It's something that people don't often consider, but it's the top 5 regrets of people that are about to pass away. So the top 5 regrets of the dying. I'm going to ask you a question. You can put it into the chat. What do you think the number 1 regret is of people that are about to pass on? What do you think is the number 1 regret? Put it into the chat. If you're on YouTube, I'll see it. Facebook, I'll see it. Twitter, I'll see it. So I want to pause for a little bit while you do that. And also for the speakers in the background, what do you think it is? You can put it into the chat as well. I know there's a slight delay on this, so let's have a look. How long will I give this? I might give it 30 seconds. Let's see if that happens. Yeah, what do you think is the number 1 regret of people that are about to pass away? It's consistent. This book talks about it because this lady worked in palliative care. So work with people that are terminally ill and about to pass on. And she learned some great things. And it was really interesting that people don't often consider that until it's too late. Like, they don't consider that until it's too late. So if we know that now, my days, let's do it now. Okay, so dying with life regrets. Yep, it's there. Not quite the first one. This is it. Rihanna's got it. Not living their dreams. So it's like they don't live a life true to their dreams, and they live a life based on other people's expectations. It's just like, wow, that is the thing that they're really concerned about in that moment. Thank you. And thank you also, Valerie. Yes, time with family is also there. Not making use of the time they had. All of that. All of that. And also conflict. Unresolved conflict. Thank you very much, Michael. I just said, yes, totally. I could talk about this all day, but let me just kind of move it on. Otherwise, we're going to be late for the next session. And you're right. That's it. They didn't have the courage to live a life true to their dreams. They lived to please other people. It's like Tapo there. So they lived to please other people. And when it gets to that moment, they really regret that. So like I said, please comment, share, like, subscribe, follow, like our Facebook page as well. So let me start with this quote, because the theme for this March event is keep moving forward. Martin Luther King said this really powerfully. And if you've watched our previous events, you know that Ademola loves quotes. I love them. Oh, look, behind me, quotes, up on the wall, quotes, because I find them very inspiring. MLK said this: if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, keep moving. So on that note, let's go. I'm going to bring on this phenomenal team from the Brave Project. So bear with me while I do some, what do you call it? Technology here. Can you stop this one? Remove you. Okay. And we're going to go here. I'm going to bring on Donnell and
Hello.
Asha. Hi, how are you doing? Great to have you on. I'm going to also bring on Chris.
Hello,
Chris, how do I
hello,
pronounce
hello.
that name?
I feel you said it right.
S-T.
Stavros.
Stavros. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So here we are. So talking to you guys. I know you guys are doing absolutely amazing things. And when Donnell listened to, I think, our October event, and she was really engaging. And then I looked up the Brave Project, and I was like, oh my days, that's phenomenal what they're doing over there. That's incredible. And when you said yes to speaking, I was like, brilliant. It'd be great to literally have you come on and just tell us what you're doing, why you do it. And then let's also hear from Ashan. I read his quote recently about mental health, and also from Chris Stavros.
Yeah.
He's a poet. And I think I'm right. Did you write a poem for us today about 1,000 Black Boys?
I haven't finished it, no.
Cool. So he's working on a poem for us, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
So literally, Donnell, over to you. So tell us about the Brave Project and how did you get started? Why did you get started? What inspires you? Tell us.
So, as some of you might know from what was advertised on today's event, the Brave Project is a suicide prevention and wellbeing service for young BAME boys and men. We started, it was following an event that I attended at the Mayor's office a couple of years ago, and it was for World Suicide Day. I was deeply affected by the stats, and then I went away and I thought, I looked at the stats into like the BAME community, the Black community in particular, and I found out that some shocking information in regards to the inequalities and disparities that young Black boys face. So I thought, well, I wanted to do something to change that, and I wanted to do something for my community. Plus, being a mother to three, but in particular, I'm raising 3 young Black kings. I thought I need to change this. Because of the stats that I looked at, it showed things like, there were a highest rate for suicide amongst young Black, African and Caribbean boys. And I thought, this has to be changed. So last year, October, around Black History Month, the Brave Project, we went into a prison in North London and delivered our first wellbeing workshop.
Congratulations, well done.
Thank you. And as part of that workshop, one of the things that we did was to talk about how men feel. Because I know, obviously, growing up within the Black community, our young men, what I know and what young men have expressed, that if they talk about their feelings, that they're looked at as weak, they looked at as they have things like they have to man up, and I wanted to change that, and through the Brave Project, through the campaigns that we have, the awareness raising that we do, we encourage young men to reach out and to speak up and reach out for help when they need it. One of the things that when I looked into the inequalities and disparities within the BAME community, I discovered that, that young men, obviously, there were a high rate of a lot of the higher rate of young men within the criminal justice system.
Yeah.
The youth offending, also the schools, like pupil referral units, PRUs, and obviously the suicide rates. And for me, raising young men, that was something, it just deeply disturbed me. So I thought, I know that these stats, like as you said earlier, when we look at race and the Black community, these are not new stats, but what it is the government's failure to implement these changes. And I wasn't going to stand by and just, because obviously I just thought, I'm not going to stand by and allow this to go on. And that's why we started the Brave Project.
And I tell you what, it's like I heard that you similar to how we started. But just to focus on you, what I hear is just a passion. You saw something that you were unhappy with, and you said, I'm not leaving it to somebody else to someday somehow miraculously take on what I'm passionate about. I'm going to do it. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
Also, one of the good things, I guess, was that I have worked for a mental health charity, so an advocacy charity, and I worked as a mental health advocate. So I could see firsthand the experience and stories and support, and also in terms of the demographics and the BAME community and young Black men that are within the mental health institutes, that are sectioned, that are medicated, and how when they are picked up in the system, at times it's too late. So what we are doing is we are trying to implement those changes before it gets too far, before a young man ends up within the criminal justice system, before he ends up kicked out of school. I don't want our young men to be labeled as hard to reach. They are not hard to reach. It's the services are not tailored and suitable. Plus, one of the things I noticed as well was that when you look at mental health charities, like national charities, it's lack of representation. So the campaigns that you see, you do not see young Black men that represent the men within our community that need that support. So it's providing those services. As from the Brave Project, we speak to young men who are going through certain issues from, maybe they've been kicked out of school, could be relationship issues, but sometimes it starts with something, maybe minor, but then when it's not dealt with, then it turns into something significant, Right,
that's amazing work. That's really brilliant. Like there's many more things so I've taken some notes just to allow you to flow. So I'll come back to some of the notes later on. And I also love what you said about discussing how men feel. I'll talk about that as well. But let's hear from Ashan. Ashan, you're one of the kings in the house, right? I hear. What's going on? How are you?
Ashan's also my son, by the way.
Tell us about you, Ashan, and tell us why this is a very important subject from your viewpoint, and why you got involved with it. Because even though it's your mom's project, you could have said, "Nah, I'm not on it. I'm not interested." But you got involved with it. So tell us about you and also why you got involved with the Brave Project.
From the start, I believe that is because myself, obviously I'm Black, but I believe that since it's going to affect me and it's going to affect a lot of people I know, from family and friends, and even to random strangers that you see every now and then, I believe that since it affects a lot of people, it's something that should definitely change,
Great.
As well as the fact that if it's going to affect me personally, not just now, but in the future, and maybe has affected me in the past, then it's definitely something that should change. And since there's not only me, there's other people that have gone through what I've gone through, if not way worse than what I've gone through, then there should be somebody to say that, or somebody to start the change, Yeah.
If I can ask, Ashan, if it's okay, what kind of things did you go through?
A broken household, not really having my dad in the household all the time, to say.
And thank you for sharing that. And also, it also speaks to your courage that you're 17, right?
Yeah, 17.
And here you are on a live webinar with your mom. So,
thank you.
I salute you for that. So that's very brave of you. So well done. And also, I understand that I read your bio there. Mom sent us that in school you were so ahead of your year, they literally pushed you ahead to, is it second book?
In
Yeah.
year 5.
Eshan doesn't like talking about this. He's very, very humble. So I'm that parent that tells everybody my son skipped a year. He didn't finish primary school. He went from primary school. He skipped from year 5 to year 7, basically. But he doesn't tell anybody. But
Where's the chance to Ashan? Tell us about that. Go for
So,
it.
in year 5, I went to St. Mary St. Michael's, a school in Tower Hamlets in Shadwell. So just after like mini exams in year 5, we could see that I was already, say, above the year or smarter than the year in some aspects. So my mum, as part of the what's it called?
I was part of the governing board of the school, which I'd recommend any parent, especially parents from who have Black children, parents in the BAME community, because obviously I don't believe that Black children are pushed in school. I could see what the school was doing at the time, and in fact, it was a Black teacher that identified my son as gifted and said to me, "Do you know what, Mum? If you're thinking about sending your son, I think you should change your. I think if you've got an opportunity to send him to private school, you should do so, because the school that he was in was just a state school. They were not pushing him, and he had kind of outgrown it. So a free school that opened up within their borough had, because of free schools, they do not work the same as your standard secondary school. They were able to take him a year early, and also at the age of 10, he was identified as having the IQ of a university graduate. So I thought, I'm not going to stand by and watch my son just kind of be another number or disappear within the school system.
Well done. Well done. And what I love about that is you got involved. You became a school governor. We actually had a chat yesterday. I was in Clubhouse, and we're talking about racism within the school system. And one of the key things that came out is that parents should get on the school board, like be a school governor. 100%. Because if you're thinking about, if you've got any kind of imposter syndrome around that, stop it. Because you definitely have a voice, and your perspective is so powerful. You've got a child in that school, your perspective is needed. So well done for doing that. And just, if you remind me, one of the organizations that we partner with, spoke previously, that I know very, very well, Elaine works with Black children to get into the private schools at a really high level. And they provide bursaries and grants and things like that. Just like your surname, provide grants and stuff that just to make it happen. So if he wants to go on that journey, we can see if we can connect them or connect you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. And so let me go to I'm gonna call you Chris, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's
all right.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So tell us about you. So I know you did a poem for the Brave Project. Yeah. I saw it, and then Danielle mentioned you. I thought, you know, I love that creativity. Let me reach out to you as well.
Yeah.
So tell us about you. Tell us about your work, your poetry, your creativity, and also why you got involved with the Brave Project.
First of all, my real name is Chris Eiffel. Stavros is a nickname given to me by family members, so it just stuck. But yeah, I'm 25. I'm from Newham. I went to St. Bonaventure, so I see a lot of the stigmas around Black boys. Like, a lot of my friends are Black, and the boys that I'm close with, we don't talk about problems. And it was kind of, even though it was identified as the norm, it shouldn't have been. So, and for me, being part of that norm at the time, not knowing how to speak, poetry was the only way for me to speak and like kind of get my feelings out there, out in the open, and then maybe someone might be able to resonate with it and then talk to me through it without actually talking to me about the problem, if that makes sense. So when I released my book,
you got a book?
Yeah.
You kept down quiet. You should send us a link to that book. What's the book about?
It's full of poetry.
Okay. For those of you in the chat, who would be interested in purchasing Chris's book? So let's support him right now.
If you guys want my book, it's on Amazon. Just type in Stavology. I'll spell it out. Let me try to spell it out.
If you send it to us, we'll put it into the chat.
I'll type in the chat.
So here's a 25-year-old
Yeah.
From London. Where are you from in London? Let me ask him.
Stratford.
So from Stratford, East London, and he's written a book at 25. When did you write your book?
It got published in February, Valentine's weekend.
Right. So 25-year-old writing a book already, right? So that's excellence. That's the kind of things that we don't get to hear about. So we're going to share your book, Chris. We want people to be buying that book and just listen to just hearing and connecting with your poetry. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Please continue. It's interrupted you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm very passionate about this subject, so let's go for it. So flow, have fun.
Started to write poetry to help myself express, and then Simple Adventures bought the book, put it in the library, and then I saw that New Voices posted as well, and then I saw the Brave Project. So then I went through the Brave Project's profile, and I saw like a post about like suicide and mental health issues within the Dame community, and I know a lot of my friends that have experienced suicidal thoughts and mental health issues, and they don't talk. And I like to think of myself as quite sympathetic and empathetic, and someone that you can talk to. Like, I won't judge you. Like, I'll just, you know what I mean? I'll talk to you through your own eyes, kind of thing. And so then I started writing poetry. And I reached out to the Brave Project. And I said, "Can I write a poem for you about this topic?" And they said, "Yeah, they'd love to." And then wrote 2 poems for them. One recently came out yesterday. Did it come out yesterday?
What was it yesterday?
There was one last Sunday, then one yesterday. Yeah. So Chris has written 2 poems for the Brave Project.
Well, Chris, if it's okay, are you able to let us know? Just drop the poem.
Well, as in me perform it, or
if you don't mind, I kind of put you on the spot there, or I can perform it. Maybe not do a good job at it.
I don't know off by heart, so
okay, cool, that's fine.
It'll be a bit difficult to do it, but
cool.
I wouldn't mind doing it another day.
We'll provide the information for the Brave Project. We're going to put it on the 1000 Black Boys website, so you can literally connect with them, follow them, be able to hear Chris's poem, the Brave Project. So we'll make that available on our site, probably from say Tuesday this week.
Yeah.
Chris, please continue. I'm just kind of interrupting.
Did the poem for the Brave Project, and then I saw you guys, 1000 Black Boys, and I was like, it's another platform that I could speak on, really, like get my creative side out there to more Black people, more Black boys, more Black men, help them be inspired. Maybe they can start writing, maybe even if it's poetry or if it's just literally a journal or a diary entry, like just write how you feel, really, just express yourself. So here I am today telling my story. Well done. Can we clap for him? I know I'm in my room by myself. If you're online, you could just do the clapping emoji for Chris. Thank you.
He wrote his book at 25, right? And that's the book on Amazon. Thank you, Rihanna. So that's the Amazon. Click on that book. So do you know what? We're gonna buy the book.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
I'm gonna find a link. We're gonna buy the book. Let me write this down so I don't forget.
Yeah.
So buy Chris's book.
And a special announcement, I've got 2 more books to come out as well.
You got 2 more books to come out?
Yeah, this year, yeah.
Wow, he's on a roll.
Why not get the ball rolling and just put it out there, really?
That's amazing. Well done. And you're a testament of what's possible for young Black boys, young Black men, that it can be done.
Yeah.
It does happen.
Yeah. You just got to believe in yourself, man. I mean, your belief in yourself has got to be bigger than the doubt that you're going to face in this world. And as long as you've got that belief, nothing can stop you, really.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And just for those of you, please share this with people around you. You can also come back and watch it. Share it with the young Black boys, young Black men around you. Share it with everybody around you. Because what he just said is, if you believe in yourself, have the belief in what you want, be bigger than your doubt of yourself, and you produce incredible results. And he's not just giving you an inspirational quote, he's lived it and he's living it. That's why he's written his book at 25, right? Chris, Anything more you want to say? I'll go back to Donnell and to Ashan very shortly, but you were flowing there. Let you flow some more.
Oh no,
Because you're
I'm done.
go ahead.
That's it.
Go ahead.
that's what I've got.
Cool,
That's what I've
awesome.
got.
Thank you very much. And so back to you, Donnell. You can also chip in as well, Ashan, and also Chris. You mentioned this thing about talking to men, to young black men, and ask them about, well, how do you feel? Tell us about your feelings. Chris touched on that as well. And it's a conversation that people often overlook. They don't want to talk about they're like, I'm a man, I'm hard.
Right. And that term, I'm a man, or man up.
Yeah, man up.
That there's so much toxicity connected with that word, man up. You know, young men have been told within our community and other communities as well that you have to man up, and if you talk about your feelings or if you cry, that makes you weak, and these are the reasons why they don't. Do you know what I mean? So when we go in and do our well-being workshops, you know, we discuss those things, and we discuss languages, words, connotations, feelings, and we create that safe space for those questions to be had, you know. And through the platform, through our platforms, we provide voices of other young black men that are showing that, you know, it's okay to speak up and reach out for help. Like through Chris's poetry, that he's shown an example of a young black man allowing himself to be vulnerable, and that is okay. So then other young black men can identify with that.
That's really powerful. Now, because it makes a huge difference, because when I coach people and work with them, because that vulnerability and being in touch with your feelings, that vulnerability, it goes hand in hand with success.
100%.
Because when you are vulnerable, you're open to failure, or what we call failure. You're okay with getting things wrong. You're okay with people judging you. People are like, I don't agree with you. Like, good for you, you don't agree with me. Because it just allows you to be yourself. Or literally, like, it allows you to live a life true to your dreams when you're vulnerable. So yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's a conversation that more of our young men, should definitely be having and talking about. It's very, very powerful, very necessary.
Yeah, I mean, it affects young black men in so many ways. Obviously, like in terms of their education,
totally.
You know, in terms of like what they think about themselves, so their self-worth, you know, being vulnerable, and that their mental health. It affects, you know, just their outlook in life, and we want to change that their outlook in life. We want to improve and influence that change. You know, what I'm hoping is that, obviously, this is our issue at the moment because the government are not changing it. But I'm hoping that in the future that it becomes the government's issue, and they look at it as a government initiative and not as a community grassroots initiative.
Sure. Yeah. I hear you with that. And I'd even also say this is why we created 1000 Black Boys, because I'll share about this a little bit, because it would have been 2017. So I've got 21 years experience of working in business and working in sales and leading different sales teams and building businesses. I remember going home, I would have been on the Victoria line, and I saw this paper, and it was of a young black boy. I think was 15 at the time, just like his life had been taken. And I remember seeing that. I thought to myself, no, I'm not going to have this anymore. And then it got to late 2018, and the final straw was when my nephew, who was 9, got threatened by somebody in school who was 10. And I just said, I'm not waiting for no government.
No, yeah.
I'm not waiting for somebody from somewhere to kind of appear and deal with what I'm passionate about. And I would just say, for those of you that are listening, let's not even wait for the government. Let's connect together, because the vision for us at 1000 Black Boys is we know that we, by ourselves, aren't going to solve all the problems. It's not possible. So we're going to connect with the likes of the Brave Project and many of you that are out there doing incredible things. And then collectively, we can cause a transformation. So when we say transform the world, it's not just a slogan for us. It's literally who shares our vision and they do something really, really well. We don't want to do what you do. We want to do what we do and just let you shine and connect with you and let someone else shine and we shine, and together we can make a huge difference. Just to share that because we're just there based on what you just said right now. Ashan, anything you want to say listening on? Chris, you too? Anything that you both, either of you here or want to contribute to what we just said? In case you want to, that is. Of course you want to. You're on like a chat show. Come on, talk to me. So we started talking about the importance of having black boys and young black men talk about their feelings. Tell us about that. Why do you think that's important?
I think it's important because it changes your aspect on life. Like from a very young age, you're told to man up, don't cry, don't be girly. Like it's all associated with being woman-like, essentially. And we're told to, you don't want to be like that. You don't want to cry because it makes you weak. People will laugh at you. People will judge you. But that's going to happen anyways. Like you should just be true to yourself. Like if you're gonna cry. You know what I mean? You're the one that's going through the pain at the end of the day. No one else is. So you need to solve it. You need to heal correctly. You know what I mean? Otherwise, one day you might have an outburst of emotions, which might lead you to do something wrong or incorrect. You know what I mean? And all that could have been solved if you just cried that one time, or spoke to someone that one time about it, rather than just neglecting it and just bottling it up and then exploding. So yeah, man, it took me a long time to kind of have that thought process. Obviously, me being 25, growing up, I was always told to man up, don't cry. You know what I mean? Especially being a young black boy. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with communication. Talk to people that you love, talk to people that care about you. Like if you're going through something, talk about it. You know, there's nothing wrong. There's no shame in it. I think a lot of people are ashamed to speak, and it definitely shouldn't be like that. There's nothing wrong to talk. Like we have mouths to talk, so just use it. Like yeah, man. So just express yourself, man, and never hide behind your emotions. Just be real to yourself. And yeah.
That's very well said. So for those of you that are listening out there, if you're dealing with something, express it. Find someone to connect with and to open up to. The Brave Project are there for that purpose. So don't keep it to yourself. Don't think that if I hold it to myself, I'm being a man. I'm manning up. It's nonsense. It's not that being a man by not communicating your feelings and expressing yourself or even shedding tears, not being vulnerable. It's not reality. It's just made up stuff that you don't need to listen to. So please, the encouragement is for you to open up, share, have a conversation. Importantly, also find people that you can connect with, people that you know that when you speak with them, they'll listen to you with no judgment. They'll just listen to you and they'll just let you express yourself. It's very, very powerful, very, very important. And that's the great work that the team at the Brave Project are currently doing. And also, Ashan, anything from you? Not that there has to be.
I think that if we're able to change,
I knew he had something to say. Go for it.
I think that if we're able to change how people think and how people feel about opening up and talk to other people, say from a younger age, we're able to convince the new generation of black men or black boys that it's okay to actually speak to people or to speak to anybody, then we'll be able to put the things in place so that they're able to be helped, so that we can like guide them through what they're going through, rather than them being on their own.
That's very well said.
Yes, you teach them young.
Totally, and they won't forget it.
Yeah. I think so. You know, other than the work that we are currently doing within the Brave Project, you know, I know obviously I would encourage any young man that's going through anything, you know, that's online here today, to speak up and reach out to that people that you love and you trust, like whether it's a loved one, whether it's a counselor or therapy. And I know sometimes, unfortunately, what we discovered through our research is that because services are not culturally appropriate, the people providing the services don't necessarily look like a young black man and they can't identify with them. So sometimes that's what is one of the barriers to them actually accessing support services or care. but you know, there are people within the community. It could be like a mentor. You know, sometimes there are some school teachers that they can identify with that look like them and understand what they're going through. But speak up, you know, and obviously come speak to us at the Brave Project. You know, we are here to help you. We are here to encourage you, and we'll have other young men like Chris who will be, you know, ambassadors of the Brave Project, whether through his spoken word or delivering creative workshops, or we've got we're going to be advertising other young men who've been through similar experiences, so that, you know, it will encourage other young Black men to speak up, and you know, it's okay.
That's amazing. That is brilliant. And let us know how we can partner with you. I've got some ideas. I'll contact you offline. But what I also love is that you are dealing with, there's some organizations out there, I know they want to tackle knife crime, for example.
Yeah.
And they'll deal with it on the surface level. They'll deal with the symptoms.
Yeah.
Right? But they don't deal with the root cause of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Brave Project is, you guys, like what we're doing at Get Hench 1000 Black Boys, is we're looking at how do we deal with the root cause?
Yeah.
How do we deal with the relationship between parents, between young people and parents, dealing with childhood trauma, dealing with being vulnerable and expressing your feelings and your thoughts, dealing with something that happened at school that you're not too sure how to express it. You've experienced something that you think is racism, or you think that actually I don't like that, but you don't know who to talk to. So dealing with that deals with a lot of things down the line. So I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing, and we would love to support you to take it further and to impact and reach more lives. That's what I want to say.
So the way you everybody can provide support to the Brave Project is by being one of our Brave Project supporters, you know, so supporting the work and advertising the work that we do. We are launching some merchandise in the summer, and through that merchandise you can the merchandise basically promotes the work of the Brave Project. And I've got one on actually, one of our merchandise, which is a top. Can you see it? Sorry.
Go to the other side a little bit. Move towards Ashan.
There you go.
Move towards Ashan a bit more. Your left towards Ashan. There you go.
There you go.
You know my name, not my story. Okay, awesome.
Right. So this is like one of our merchandise that we've launched for the Brave Project, and that's one of the ways you can support the Brave Project, by buying our merchandise. And we decided on this sort of tagline because if you see a young Black man, you may know his name, you may know what he looks like, but you don't know what he's been through. You do not know the things that have impacted and influenced his life. You know, you may judge him, but you don't understand that you need to know that he's a king, you know, and there's things about him that you do not see that have affected him. And not just young Black men, but everybody, I think, can identify with this, you know, a lot of people, especially within the BAME community.
Very well said. Very well said. I'm not sure there's anything more I can add to that part. But all I do want to say is what Donnell and the Brave Project are doing that's also very clever is that by you and us purchasing the merchandise, it furthers and sustains the project, and they can keep it running and keep it going without having to depend on government support. If government support comes, great. If it doesn't come, it still keeps going, which is very, very important. So please go. Is that available? That'll be available in the summer, you said? It's
going to be available in the summer, yeah.
Okay. When it's ready, let us know. We'll share that with our network. We say, guys,
most definitely
buy this. Amazing. And also something you touched on earlier as well. That there's this. I say this because I did one of our. So my other company, we do mindset work and we do coaching. And I said to a friend of mine who's head of year at our school in East London, I said to him, I've started this. Give me your hardest to reach black boys, the tough ones. And I use that word deliberately, the hardest to reach, right?
Okay.
And because you touched on that earlier. And so they came along, maybe it was like 5 or 6 of them. They came along, they sat down, and I did a coaching session with them that I do with business people that are 10, 20, 30 years older than them. And they got this coaching in record time. One boy in particular, there was 3 parts to the coaching that I was doing. He got all 3 parts, literally like 1, that's that one, that's that one, and that's that one. And I just looked at them like, what? You guys aren't hard to reach. Hard to reach is not you. You're very smart and very intelligent. You've just cracked that code in literally no time at all. So I share your view with hard to reach is not a real thing. Do you want to say some more about that? Your experience with hard to reach?
In regards to hard to reach, I would say it's the young men are not hard to reach. It's just the services.
They're not hard to reach. Look, Ashan is like right next to you. You can just touch him. He's not hard to reach. He's like right there.
Yeah, the young men they're not hard to reach. It's just the services that are out there are not equipped for our young men. And going back to like what you said about the coaching, I've been providing coaching for older people, so not young men. And the things that we work on are like providing a strategy to help people overcome their fears. And these are the things that we need to be doing with our young men, is providing coach to show them that, you know what, fears are obviously false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
And
face everything and rise.
Yeah. And that you know, sometimes the teachers within the schools they don't understand the young men. So it doesn't matter how many things or how many languages they might try to speak or to provide the information, whether it's support, emotional support, or educationally, they're not going to be able to support that young man. So they are not hard to reach. It's just the services are not appropriate for our young men.
I totally hear you. They're not hard to reach. I think Plan Wholesome Empowerment Group said nobody's hard to reach unless you don't want to reach them. And what I love about what you're doing and what we're doing and what many other organizations are doing is we're not waiting for the system to do that for us. We are going to partner together, do it together, or do it by ourselves, but we're going to do it. And I think it's very important for people to see that. And we've got about 3 minutes left, but there's some more things I want to talk about. We kind of covered most of them actually, but is there anything else you want to leave us with? So this is thrown open to you, Donnell, Ashan, Chris. Just what do you want to leave us with? What else do you want to say?
I think, do you know what? Just we need to, as parents and caregivers, people within our community, just have those conversations with young Black men, provide that safe space constantly. I know sometimes it's quite difficult because of economical reasons. We are working 2 or 3 jobs. Parents, we also go through our own things. We also got our own traumas and stuff like that. But when you decide to have children, you've basically decided that the children don't ask to be born. You've decided that you need to provide that support for them. I think that we should always ask them every day, you know, how are you? Constantly having those conversations. Hug your children. Tell your children that you love them.
Big, you know? That is huge. Tell your children that you love them. Sorry to cut you off. So don't do that thing about, I'm an African man, I'm a Black man. We don't say things like that. No, tell your children that you love them, mums and dads. It's very, very powerful. It does a lot of things mentally that can go into, but it's huge.
Yeah.
Sorry, Donnell, please continue.
That's fine. So tell your kids that you love them. Tell your children that they matter and that they are important. Don't wait for the system or society to break your children down. you know, constantly engage, and also engage in conversations with your schools about your children's education and welfare, and show them that, you know, you are involved and it does matter to you how well your son or your daughter is doing within school. Get involved. Like I was saying earlier, I was a school governor because it really mattered to me how my kids are doing in school. Also extracurricular activities, things that would support your children to excel. Find out about it. Don't wait for schools to provide access to opportunities. Like we've got 1,000 Black boys. Look at, they've got loads of opportunities, you know, to provide, you know, different things within the like workshops, and you know, to provide inspiration. Don't wait around for somebody else to make that difference for your child. Go out there and show them that, you know, they can be whoever they want to be, and that, you know, that they are loved, and they matter.
Absolutely important. And just on that note, we're going to be launching our next 1,000 Black Boys program for Black boys, young Black men age. We'll go from might be different ones from 10 to 25. Could be different groups. We did this November, December last year. We're going to start it again, probably April, May time. It'll be over 6 weeks. We're taking them on a journey of mindset development and character development. And that's coming from one of the leading coaches in Europe. So they're going to get some really powerful stuff. So yeah, so thank you for that, Donnell. Thank you very much. Chris, Ashan, anything from you as we wrap up?
No, not really.
Awesome. Great to have you on, by the way. Much appreciated. Oh, we've kind of lost Chris. Maybe something happened to his to his connection. But what I do want to say is, if you love that conversation, please comment and remember to like this. So liking this also makes a difference. Is that Chris? I think Chris has come back. He's come back. Yes, he is. There he is. But yeah, so literally like this, share this, and you can also come back and re-watch this for more inspiration. So this is there for you to enjoy and benefit from. This is for you. What do I want to say in closing with you guys? It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. And actually, we're on Clubhouse later on between 8 to 9 with one of my mentors who does incredible things within the Black community. We're actually talking about mental health and how that mental health translates to wealth creation. So if you're on Clubhouse, 8 to 9, join us. It'd be absolutely phenomenal. It'd be great to have you on there. And for those of you as well that are listening, if you're on Clubhouse, if you're like, what's Clubhouse? I can't help you. Google it. But if you know what Clubhouse is, come along and join us. It'd be great to have you on. Chris, anything from you in closing?
First of all, apologies. My connection went. And second of all, everyone just talk to each other, man.
I know, right?
Start off by talking to each other. Literally, it's that simple. Let's just start by talking to each other.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, can I get some claps in the chat for the Brave Project and for this amazing team? So thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure. And have a great Saturday and an awesome 2021.
You too.
See you later.
Thank you. Take care.
Wow. That was pretty amazing. Yes. Let's have a look. Natasha said, woo! With 4 exclamation marks. So that's like, woo! I think that'd be about right. And then claps from Jamel Alexander. Totally. I totally agree with you. Thank you very, very much. And yeah, you're right. Cheyenne, it's so important for that kind of conversation. And it's so simple. Just talk to each other. Talk to your children. Have a conversation with them. Tell them that you love them. It goes such a long way. Those words build such incredible self-esteem. It builds the relationship. And it turns that young person in your house to an incredible leader. It's like you're pouring into them. 10, 20, 30 years down the line, it's huge. It is a big deal. Thank you. So now we have another amazing conversation about to happen. I met this amazing lady. It was actually 2020, so early last year. Her name's Makeda McMillan. She does some phenomenal work. And I was like, what? She's doing really good stuff. So I want you to meet her. I think that this is someone that you should know. Someone that you should know. Especially if you're from the Black community and you have an idea of a social enterprise that you want to do or business that you want to start. This is someone that you should be in contact with. So I'm going to bring her on very, very shortly. So she's the founder and CEO of Makeda Makes. I'm not going to give you her full bio. You can see her full bio on our Instagram page. So I want to add her to this. Hey, Makeda, how are you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going very, very well.
Good.
We had an incredible first conversation today. It was just like, wow, you caught parts of it, I think. But yeah, it was
I was listening in. I heard like the last minutes.
It's really great. And yeah, so great to have you on. Thank you for saying yes.
Thank you for having me.
Now, completely our pleasure, because we definitely want to give organizations that are doing great things a platform to be seen, so people know that they exist. And also what we want to do is that those different organizations can connect together, because as a community in that regards, we can have more of an impact. We could do more things. So totally our pleasure. So we want to meet you. So the topic title is Meet Makeda, founder of Makeda Makes. So Makeda, over to you. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah.
What you do and why you do it.
Okay. This is a pretty loaded question. So my name's Makeda. How I started Makeda Makes is through my experience that I had. So I am the founder of Makeda Makes, but I also work part-time for a charity. We're based in Camden. It's called Small Green Shoots. And their whole ethos is basically helping young people get into the creative industry, predominantly music, but other art forms. I actually met the CEO and the founder of the organisation, an amazing woman, Natalie Wade. I met her when I was studying. So I started studying at an academy called BCE. It wasn't called BCE at the time, because I'm not that young anymore. It was called DBA. So I studied and did a creative and media diploma there. That was year 10, year 11. So, you know, when you're picking your GCSEs and stuff.
What age were you then?
Sorry?
Yeah. What age is year 10? I haven't been to school in ages. It's a long time ago.
That is year 10. I think I was about like 14.
Wow. Yeah, you started at 14.
Yeah, so basically, you know, when you're picking your GCSEs and stuff, I went to it was like a sports college, and it was in Chingford. But basically, there was like this new diploma that had come out on top of your GCSEs, which was like a creative and media diploma. And it wasn't on campus like at my school. It was like an extra day that you had to go. I think it was like a Thursday. And it was to do with all things creative. So I always knew that I wanted to do something creative, but I didn't know exactly what field I wanted to get into. I was never really interested in sports. Like I did dance, but I always knew that I'm from a creative family, musical family. So I was always really passionate about like music, reading. Like I wanted to be a journalist at one point. So I thought, okay, let me try it. Everyone was a bit skeptical because it was a new program that had come out. So I signed up for that diploma. And I can see the comments here. Yeah. Sorry, this is my first time on this like platform. I'm so used to Zooms, but this is my first time actually talking when I can't see loads of faces.
I know, right? Well, you do get used to it.
Yeah, I'm getting the hang of it. So yeah, so I started at BCE. It's called BCE now. It was like quite a small academy, but now it's a massive academy, amazing academy in Walthamstow. They've got different campuses. And I did a creative media diploma there. So that was in, I planned like an anti-knife crime event. I did like some journalist stuff. I like interviewed like some up and coming artists. So I also created like a template for like a game I think it was like a FIFA game at the time. So I kind of tried every single sector of the creative industry. And then my end of the diploma, I did like an anti-knife crime event. And it was with like a group. They did like back in the day, like I'm getting older now. They did like the head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Like,
oh, okay.
I can't remember the group, but basically they came down, they performed, and I did the logistics of the event. So then I was like, it was really rewarding. It also was for a good cause as well. So I was like, okay, this is something that I'm really interested in. So going on after that, I decided to pursue an apprenticeship there instead of going to a normal college. And that is where I met the CEO and founder of Small Green Shoots. She was actually my teacher. So it was a live events and promotions apprenticeship. I did like an internship at a fashion PR agency, which was called the Communication Store. They did a lot of things, but then I also got involved in the events. They did something called Press Day, and then they also did some stuff for London Fashion Week. Mm-hmm. And then I started kind of realizing that I kind of liked the event side of it, like the planning events and like the community stuff. So when I left there, I basically just like kept in contact with like Natalie, basically just said, oh, like I'd like to get involved with like what you're getting involved with. And she just started our organisation, Small Green Shoots, which is like a massive charity now. They're doing some really amazing stuff. And then I started there as an apprentice. So I was doing like work experience there. I did like the Mobile Awards. I did some like events, like I did an event in City Hall. And I kind of worked my way through the organisation, learning all the aspects of running a business. So I learned about the admin side and like the accounts. And this is the one thing that the organisation does. They give like young people the transferable skills to go on into the creative industry.
Perfect.
So I learned about the social media and marketing. I learned about the accounts and paying invoices. I learned about like evaluations and like reporting. And basically, I just worked my way up in the organisation, and I'm now the project coordinator there. So I work with I manage like an intense program there, which is like an 8-week training program. So we bring on young people that are aspiring creatives. Some of them want to work in A&R, some of them want to work in marketing, some of them want to be artists. And we kind of bring in industry like professionals to do masterclasses. We get them training. We put them on courses, accredited courses. I'm an Arts Award assessor as well. Don't know if you know what an Arts Award is, but
people want to apply for grants with the arts charity.
Right. So that's like an application for funding. So an Arts Award is basically a qualification. It's equivalent to UCAS points, and it's recognised in the creative industry. So there's like 3 levels. There's 4 actually. There's like Explore and Discover, Bronze, Silver, Gold. And I deliver that as a service through Makeda Makes for some of the projects. So say, for example, you've got a creative project and you've got a group of like young people. I will actually go in, and I'm a moderator, so I will go in and I will assess and create portfolios, and they get like a qualification at the end of it. So right. Kind of adding legacy to the projects and stuff. So I'm trained in Bronze, Silver and Gold. Bronze is like a shorter period. Gold is like a longer period, like for bigger projects. So I do that. And then like I just started, so I've been working in the industry for about 10 years now. I do that, and then I just started creating like my own contacts, and I started coming up with concepts for my own projects. And then I started learning about the fundraising and the bid writing side of it, funding through the Arts Council. So I started writing applications for my own projects that were funded. And then I just started building up this portfolio of my own network. And then I just had a conversation with like my boss one day, and she was like, oh, why don't you like start your own thing? And I was a bit skeptical at first, but I'd already kind of started doing like projects and stuff. So the office that Small Green Shoots is based in, that's Camden. So my own personal projects, I'm from East London, I'm from Walthamstow. So I started reaching out to like my local like community. BCE is like an amazing academy now, but they're based in Walthamstow. So I work with some of the young people there. So that's how like Makeda Makes was born basically. So it's an official community interest company as of last year. Thank you.
Can we give Makeda a clap for those of you that are in the chat? So the company's now registered officially from last year, and she's been on an amazing journey. I think that deserves a clap. Come on.
So I registered it last year officially. What was I going to say? Yeah, so I registered it officially last year. I relaunched my website and all my socials on Mother's Day. And I've just been lucky enough to get some lump sum funding from the Arts Council to deliver a series of projects for this year. I piloted in partnership with Small Green Shoots last year on a project called The Lovin', which was basically, so I've always been like a book nerd. So I've always really loved reading, even from secondary school. Like, and I started noticing the difference between the relationship between local library services and young people, especially hard to reach, BAME young people. So I heard at the back end of the conversation about hard to reach. So I started noticing the difference. I know that a lot of like local library services, they really want to engage young people. They want like they want more young people using their services, signing up for memberships and stuff. But then I also know a lot of young people that don't really want to go into a library. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like boring, they're getting told to shush all the time. So I come up with this concept to basically find a way to make the library services and the venue in general more appealing to young people. So we piloted something last year called the library takeovers. And basically what it is we did one for Valentine's Day in 2020. This is before COVID happened and everything locked down. And we took over the Camden Library with creative workshops. So it was like 2 days. It was based on the theme of love for Valentine's Day. So we had some artists, like spoken word artists and performers coming in, and they were speaking about love, like different interpretations of love. We got some young people involved from like a local college and university, and they submitted like artistic pieces about their interpretation of love. And then we had like a launch on one day, which was like an exhibition and some performances. And then we took over the whole library, basically, one of the whole floors of the library.
That's brilliant. Did you do a similar thing as well in King's Cross?
That's the one you came to. Yeah.
So just imagine, like, normally you think about a library. I think before I came, I was thinking, well, do libraries still exist? They do exist. And it was just, I went in and it was just a group of young people demonstrating their creativity in what would normally be like a quiet kind of environment. And they just lightened the place up. They inspired, they breathed life into the place. It was just like, they woke it up. It was amazing. So that's one of many things that Makeda does, which I think is phenomenal.
Thank you. And then we also had like master classes. So we had on the second day, we had people coming down to talk about videography and photography. And we had like people that work for record labels coming down and speaking, and they all did these master classes, and we basically booked slots in at different times of the day throughout the day for like young people to come in and like sit in on the workshops, take notes, like network with the industry professionals and stuff. And it was actually quite amazing as well, because the library was actually still in operation while the takeover was happening. So you would have all of these like creative pop-ups and like interactive workshops and stuff. And then you would still have people there like on the laptops, the computers, and like people still using. And we tried to incorporate the books, because in terms of like books and literature, a lot of young people don't realize that a lot of artists, established artists, use literature as their inspiration. Obviously, I know that Stormzy is doing like these like murky books and stuff now. So there's ways, like it's still a creative way of expression. So I really wanted to kind of combine the two. And then from that, the pilot went really well. And now I've been funded to do a series of them over this year.
That's amazing. For those of you that are listening, so thank you for all the whoops and the whoops and claps. If you are inspired by what Makeda's doing with her business, please just put inspired into the chat, because I'm definitely inspired. That's really amazing. And so many things I could say about that. So many things I do want to touch on. Like, our time is just going as well. It's what I really hear from you as well is what I wrote down is you always had a passion for the creative. And what I hear is it's a passion of yours. What I hear is you're living your dreams.
Yeah.
Basically. Is what I hear.
Yeah. It's a job, but I've been lucky enough to do a job that I find really rewarding, and I think it's so important. This is why with Makeda Makes, I want to really like engage other young people, and this is why I do community projects, and it's basically giving young people a platform for expression, but then also to pursue where they want to go with their career. So I obviously wasn't very sure And I was lucky enough to get the opportunity to meet people in the industry and mentors in the industry that kind of like gave me the foot in the door. I was a young mum. I had my son at 18. So I'm quite passionate about, I do a lot of work with like young parents, single parents, because when I obviously had my son, there's that whole stigma of like, oh, your life's over, get a retail job, like you can't have a career and a kid, like. So I kind of wanted to be an advocate for like women and fathers out there as well, that you can still pursue like what you want to do, even if like things get in your, like I'm not from a privileged background. Like I haven't been to university. I don't have a trust fund. I don't have a like massive savings account. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like I've worked my way to where I am now based off my relationships and also people that have given me the opportunity and that have actually believed in me. So I kind of want to be, now that I'm in the position I'm in, I want to be that person for other young people.
Amazing. Very so inspired, very inspiring. This is powerful stuff. That's exactly what it is. This is absolutely powerful. Thank you very much. Like, you're an inspiration. And that's definitely why I wanted to have you on. And so many things as well. You talk about the importance of having mentors.
Oh my God, it's so important. It's so important. I don't know where I would be.
Those of you that are out there, did you hear that?
It's so important.
Like, some people are just like, I don't want a mentor. I want to do all by myself. Good luck with that life.
I
don't want a coach. Good luck with that life. It's like there's the easy way and there's the hard way times 10. So without a coach and a mentor, you're taking the hard way just for the fun of it. So
like, so much things that you can learn. Like, I believe that no matter like how established you are and no matter where you are in your career, it's always beneficial to have a mentor, because there's always like so much more to learn. I think even if like you're really established and like you've got like an amazing like organization and it's doing really well, I still think it's really good to get different opinions. Everybody has different knowledge. You know what I mean? I don't believe that like I don't believe there's ever a point it's like, okay, I know everything now. I don't need no help. I don't need advice. Like, so I think relationships and building relationships, especially in the creative industry, is so important, because I think that if you don't, like, it's about who you know. It's not really, it's about what you know, but then I think more importantly, it's about who you know as well. And reputation is such a big thing as well, like the way you conduct yourself, like building relationships, going the extra mile for my contacts and my clients that I have. That's based off of the fact that I've actually built relationships with them. And then it's the same with the young people that I work with as well. Like, I go above and beyond to like go to their events, involve them in what I'm doing. So it's so important.
That's really awesome. So let me ask you this. So you touched on it earlier. So for those that are listening that are in the creatives, what are you currently doing that people can get involved with? And also, how can they do that?
Okay, so like I said, I've launched my website, which there's a inquiry form where you can like get in contact with me. It's www.makedamakes.org. I'm also on it. Say that again, sorry.
We'll share this, so we'll probably post it now, and your details will also be available through our website, and people can actually reach out to you through there as well.
So at the moment, like, there's a number of services that I provide. So obviously the Arts Award qualifications is one. So if you've got a creative project, if you're a project manager or you're an artist that's doing some really good like community work and you're working with young people, then like shout me for like Arts Awards. Also, I do consultancy and fundraising and bid writing. So if you have like a creative project or an idea, then you can reach out to me and I can either help you with the application process, or I can also consult on an existing project. I'm doing some work with Hertfordshire Library at the moment. They've just been given funding to do a library project, and I'm like helping consult with that. I also do like project management and events, so I assist with like the event side of stuff, and then I also deliver my own projects. So for any young people that like want to get involved in the projects that I do, just get in contact with me. They're usually the library takeovers. They'll be this year. So obviously on my social media platforms, you'll be able to find out more about that. I'm looking for volunteers, and I'm also looking for like people that want to get involved in the planning process of that as well. And also I'm looking to put together a steering group. So I want to put together a group of young people that can actually give me advice and guidance and get involved in the planning process of the takeovers, because they're usually based around a theme. My projects specifically are based around a theme. So I've done a project recently with a group of young boys, and that was called Through My Eyes, and it was basically so I've done a lot of female empowerment projects for young women that basically get together and they talk about like the experiences they've gone through as like young Black women. But then I did a launch one time, and then I noticed there was a lot of like young Black men there. And then I thought to myself, oh, wouldn't it be so interesting to find out about the empowering women in young Black men's lives as well? So I obviously put this project together, and they did spoken word pieces based around women that inspire them, like in the industry and also in their personal lives as well. So I'm always updating the projects and like stuff that I'm doing at the moment. So just reach out to me.
Definitely. So we'll share that far and wide. And there's a few things that we're working on as well with a creative bunch of people that I'm going to involve you on, because I'm connected to these bunch of creatives. They're phenomenal. And I just see where they could go with their idea. So it'd be great for us to connect and see what we can do for them to inspire the whole generation. So that's amazing. And what else do I want to ask you? So from your journey, I'm sure you've dealt with so many different challenges along the way.
Yeah.
What tips do you have to empower people, inspire them to keep moving forward? If you've got like 1, 2, or 3 tips for people that are listening.
One thing that I do is that I'm actually getting better at as time goes on is I'm organizing my time. So I have schedules, like not only schedules for my work, but also for my personal, like finding the right balance is really important. I think also, so I would say that, like, organize your time, schedule like your time as well. One thing that I like to do is when I'm feeling a bit demotivated, or I'm feeling a bit unsure about something, or I'm feeling a bit down, what I tend to do is I tend to think about, okay, where was you 2 years ago and where are you now? So I think back to a time that I was in a position that I really wanted to do all of the stuff that I'm doing now, and I didn't know how I was going to get there. So I kind of think back and I'm like, okay, if there was a point in my life that I felt like, oh, like I'm struggling to get to this place and I'm at this place now, then this is just temporary. Oh my God, I can't speak. This is temporary. So I think to myself, like, if I felt like that back then, I got through it, so I can get through whatever I'm getting through now. And also I think it's just work hard as well. Like, just don't give up on your dreams. Like, if you want something, go get it. Like, don't let, like, everyone goes through bumps in the roads and stuff. And I think it's just having that willpower to be like, do you know what, I'll get through it. And like having goals. I set myself goals. So I have like 5-year goals. I have like short-term goals, long-term goals, and also not only thinking, okay, this is where I want to be in 5 years, but how do I get to that stage in 5 years? And actually writing it down and structuring it and being like, okay, I need to do this, and putting yourself out there as well, and just working hard. Do you know what I mean? Like building good relationships, carrying through with like the things you say that you're gonna do, and yeah.
That was 5. That's amazing. I'm going to put this into the chat.
5. Bloody hell.
That's really good. So for those of you that are listening, so these are the tips for you from Makeda. So 1, plan your time. So not just work, also plan your personal time as well. It's important for that balance in life. And 2, which you might find interesting, Makeda said, when you get demotivated, some of you might think, what? It happens. It happens. So when that demotivation happens, what she does is she looks back to times in the past where she had similar issues or different challenges and just reminds herself, if I got past that then, I can get past this now. Very powerful. And then she also talk about work hard. Like, just work hard and go for it.
Yeah.
And if you want something, go get it. Like, it sounds so simple, but very often people just have a conversation with themselves and they talk themselves at their dreams and they settle for like a less life. What I say to people is there's no point living a pretend life. Almost like this life is like a trial run. Like the real one is coming tomorrow. or the real one happens next month or next year. It doesn't work that way. Go for what you want.
Dreamer and a doer. So if you've got dreams, there's nothing wrong with having dreams, but don't expect them to come to you. Think about the steps you have to make those like dreams and aspirations come true. So be a dreamer and a doer, I think.
100%. So go get it and work hard. Have goals. So literally that. So have goals and then put yourself out there. So literally network, communicate. What was also consistent, what Makeda was talking about is relationships. Like build relationships with people that inspire you, people that you want to partner with. So she started with her connection with the founder at Small Green Shoots, who was previously her teacher at school. That relationship is now having her live a life of her dreams, which is amazing. So those are tips for you. Please use this stuff. Use this stuff. Don't just have it like, oh, that's really good information, and have a very knowledgeable notebook. Knowledgeable notebooks are a waste of time. All right? Do something with it. So be a dreamer and a doer. That's amazing. And there was a question from earlier as well, actually, Makeda, from Joe Var. It could be a similar thing. So yeah, top tips for young and older creatives. You've kind of covered it, actually. Top tips for young and older creatives to push through the challenges and your internal critic and your inner critic.
I would say just with the inner critic, I kind of touched it on it already. But I would say, like, with being your inner critic, there's nothing wrong with wanting to better yourself. My only competition is myself. So I'm constantly thinking about ways to get better. But I think it's also constructive criticism is important. So obviously criticize yourself in a positive way, like, how could I get better? How could I actually do better? But then also acknowledge where you've come from and like the things that you've actually achieved as well. I think that's just as important, finding the right balance.
I hear you. I'm just writing a comment here. And Josephine Johnson said, yeah, like MLK said, keep moving forward. People, I know that it sounds really simple, and actually it is. But what happens is, for most of you, you talk yourself out of your dreams. You settle for less because of ultimately fear. Maybe it's the bills. Maybe it's what's my parents going to say? What my friends going to say? How will I look if I do this? All of that stuff. Don't let that rob you. Don't let that rob you. Because we actually started off today's session. There's a book I'm reading right now. The book is The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. It sounds like, what? What are you doing? Really? But it's important. Just consider that. The number one regret for these people is that they didn't live a life true to their dreams. And they lived a life to please other people. And they weren't happy about that. So they carried this for like 20, 30, 50, 60, 70, 80 years, 90 years. And they had regrets. So don't do that. I've been given tips by Makeda of how to literally press forward and turn that quote of keep moving forward into a reality, which is amazing. Awesome. Anything else you want to say to us, Makeda?
No, thank you so much for having me and listening in. Yeah, I think you've pretty much covered everything. Thanks, Ade.
Perfect. Okay. Let's have a look. Going through your plans, how to get involved. Yep, we definitely covered it all. And also, well done on your new site. Well done on setting that up. That's really good. That's really inspiring. So we're going to promote that and share that with our network. And there's definitely things that we're doing that I would love to involve you on. Because for me, it's about working together as a collective. No one person has all the answers. Exactly. If one person tries to solve all the challenges for young Black boys, young Black men, or young people generally, that person's having a laugh, right? It's got to be done together. And just lastly for you, let me ask you, Small Green Shoots. It'd be great to connect with that founder at some point. Maybe have them come on. It sounds like they're doing some incredible things.
Yeah, it's an amazing organization. I owe a lot to the organization. They're doing some amazing work. Brilliant.
Well, Makeda, thank you very, very much. Great to have you on. For those of you, if you love that conversation, the great news is you can always replay it, easy, right? And if you love that conversation, please press like, comment, have a chat with us, connect with us. And if you think you're doing something really, really great and you want to be involved in a future conversation, let us know. We're always looking for people to speak with. So Makeda, from us and from everybody who's listening, to you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. You have a great one and enjoy your Saturday and have a great 2021.
You too. Take care. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Right, wasn't that inspiring? It's getting quite dark in here, isn't it? Might need to turn the light on in my house. Should I do it right now? There's a whole team like around me. Can we get the light turned on, please? It's getting quite dark in here. Right. So we're now going to have another phenomenal conversation. An amazing conversation. The light's been turned on as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to very, very shortly. Oh, it's got a bit darker, but it'll get lighter. Hey, it's got lighter. Come on. So we're going to have an entrepreneur panel session. We're speaking with another group of amazing people. Amazing people. So we have two incredible Black social entrepreneurs that are speaking with us very, very shortly on the panel. And there's this amazing lady called Amy, who works on another amazing organization. I'm saying amazing quite a lot, called the School of Social Entrepreneurs. And they do exactly that. They work with social entrepreneurs. And I hadn't heard of this organization until December 2020. And I started 1000 Black Boys December 2018. And I wish I'd known about this organization 2 years ago. No regrets. It's just that, that would have made things a bit easier, like the mentorship aspect of it. And they're currently working with an organization called PwC. If you don't know who PwC are, they're one of the big 4 accounting firms in the world. So they're huge. And what they're working on is a way to support, inspire, empower, and develop Black social entrepreneurs. So you heard that right. So they're working on a program to support, inspire, develop Black social entrepreneurs, to have them just not only get past barriers, but disappear barriers, and then produce incredible results within their communities and really impact the people that they want to impact. So Amy is also on. I've got her working on a Saturday. Yeah, we done it. Right. So we're going to have a panel conversation. The panel conversation title is really very interesting. It's a funny one. The title is The Extra Large Pink Elephant in the Black and White Room. And like I said earlier, there's some conversations that people avoid. There's some stats that have been there for years, but people pretend like there's no problem with exclusion rates of young Black people in schools. No, that's not an issue. Or there's no racism. What's racism? We don't do that over here. We're British, all that stuff. So it's that kind of conversation. And then we're also going to talk about actual solutions. And one of the solutions is what Amy and her team are working on, is what Kondwani is doing, who will also be joining us from his company, and also Michelle. So Kondwani runs a company called Fresh RB. They're a CIC from Manchester. That's my Mancunian accent. And then we've got Michelle from Learning in Action. She does some great work up in Birmingham. That's my Birmingham accent. So as you can see, I've done London, Manchester, Birmingham. I've got accents on lock. So let's introduce them. So this is Kondwani. Hello, Kondwani. How are you doing?
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks. A little bit tired, but I'm okay. I'm okay.
Brilliant, brilliant. The word of entrepreneur happens sometimes. Hi there, Amy. How are you doing, Amy? You're on mute, Amy.
Hi, how you doing? Good to see you, Ademola and Kondwani.
Likewise. And we're adding Michelle. Hello, Michelle. How are you doing? Hello.
Okay, I'm good. Hi, Kondwani. Hi, Amy. Hi, Ade.
Awesome. So this time will fly by, I promise you, because it always does. But a real pleasure to have you all on. So we're currently working together on this. So 1000 Black Boys also got invited to be a contributor to this program. And I think about 3 weeks ago, we were having a conversation. And we just started to talk about some things. And then I'm hearing feedback. Let's have a look. Okay, it's gone. And we had this amazing conversation about the challenges that Black entrepreneurs have, the challenges that Black social entrepreneurs have, and the difference that we really want to make, and the stats that get ignored. People pretend like, well, nothing's going on, like there's no issues here. And I just thought, do you know what? This would be a perfect conversation for a 1000 Black Boys event. And just to literally open it up, I'm going to ask. Let's start with Kondwani, because you came on first. So just literally, just tell us about who you are, what you do, why you do it, what is Fresh RB, and just tell us all of that.
Right. I'm Kondwani Chirwa. That's my full name, and I live here in Manchester, the true north. And I'm a new dad as well. So
Hey!
my kid is only 3 months old, so I'm still trying to catch up on sleep. That's a whole different topic. For another session altogether. Yeah. And yeah, I've been running Fresh RB with a good friend of mine, Babs. He's the one who founded it in 2013, and I joined him in 2014 when it became a CIC, which means Community Interest Company. So we are a social enterprise, and we've been running since then. And in 2017, we started the Silent Elephant Project, which is basically raising awareness of marginalized health conditions and themes that affect our communities. And we deliver that through accredited short media workshops. And obviously, at the end of it all, after working with university students and secondary school students, they then go on to produce a short film and other creative content, such as podcasts as well. We've now started to help raise awareness of health conditions. And the whole aim really is to make sure we bridge research with engagement and just offer a platform for conversations. There's so many health conditions that are not being spoken about, or much research has been done. And the reason for that is the fact that Babs himself, he was diagnosed with cancer. That was when he was at university, and in 2009, if I recall very well. And myself, I suffer from ME, also known as chronic fatigue syndrome, or myalgic encephalomyelitis. Oh, it's always a mouthful. So yeah, I suffer from that. And so it's health conditions such as that, because for me personally, I did struggle a lot. I had to stop my university because I was doing my master's program at the time, but fortunately I was able to still graduate with a degree, because I finished my 3-year program within the 4 years. And at the time, 2014, just before I met Babs, and so we can run the company, I was basically stuck in that my mental health condition, was getting worse because of the nature of the illness. So I'm always in pain, weakness, and brain fog. Basically, I can't function like a normal person, as I would like to call it, where I was before. So obviously it meant a lot of things had to change for me. And so in my desire to problem solve and forget about the symptoms and the effects of them, so that I can enjoy a fulfilled life, I found that being creative was one of the very, very key things that were very helpful. And video production, to be specific, was very powerful as a tool to kind of give a voice. And so, yeah, since then, basically, we've been doing that. And so we're based in Manchester. And yeah, we have video production social enterprise, helping communities and people lived experiences have a voice.
That's really great. I'll definitely ask you more, because I'll also ask you later on about how people can connect with your organization. How can they support what you're doing? How can they really partner with you to make even more of a difference to the world and to people everywhere?
Yes, sure. Simply just go to the website, freshrb.com. There's a lot of information there. But another way of contacting us is on social media at FreshRBCIC. You easily find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook as well. We're still there. And so more than anything else, really, if you can't get through all those mediums that I've mentioned, feel free to contact Ademola, and he'll give you all the information as well. But other than that,
really?
Yeah,
we're going to put you on our website, if that's okay with you, with your bio, so people can reach out.
Yeah.
So definitely. So let's also hear from Amy. So Amy, hello.
Hi.
Yes, you're off mute. Brilliant.
I'm here. Yeah.
So thank you for being on. Great to really have you on. And you're doing some amazing, inspiring work. And just be great just to hear from you. Like, what do you do? Why do you do it? Why did you get started? And I also talk about this program that I can say, one of the brainchild for, to really push it forward for Black social entrepreneurs. So tell us about that.
So just to give you a bit of background, SSE, the School for Social Entrepreneurs, where I work, we've been running learning programs for social entrepreneurs for about 23 years now. This this program particularly was interesting in many ways. So our programs are they're cohorts, they're mixed cohorts, they're really diverse. But what we really wanted to understand were what were the barriers specific to Black social entrepreneurs. So we did, you say I did the work, but actually you all did the work. I facilitated. So the people who took part is Ademola, Kwandwani, Michelle, and also Pauline Miller-Brown, who's not here today, but who runs another social enterprise in Birmingham called Restart. So what I did was facilitated what we call a human-centered design process, or design thinking, it's better known as. It's a kind of creative problem-solving process. And we have worked together for, I think we did, sorry, I'm just looking over at my other screen. I'm not getting distracted, but I've got some notes here so I don't miss anything.
I think it was January 11th we started, I think.
Yeah. And we did 7 workshops, I think, in all. And the process goes from this process of kind of that we call inspiration, which is where you all went out and spoke to people in your networks, did interviews, kind of gathered stories from people. And then we came back and did this ideation synthesis, which is where you shared all your stories. We then started to think about ideas and solutions to some of the challenges that people addressed. And the next stage that we're kind of entering now is implementation, where we're thinking about how we put your ideas into practice. And the challenge that we did was this. The question that we asked was, how might we identify the challenges, understand priority areas, and design future support for Black entrepreneurs? And yeah, I guess to say, you asked me why we did this. So we work in partnership with PwC, as you said. So PwC have funded this program, that both the research piece and the program, which you're all participating on. And we really wanted to identify the unique challenges for Black social entrepreneurs in kind of being able to grow and thrive, but also in tackling racial injustice and systemic racism. So there were so many things that came up, and I'll let you all kind of talk a bit more about that, but just sort of very briefly, some of the things that we found were there are barriers to knowledge and information. There's a lot of people talked about there being this kind of, there's this secret world out there that a lot of people can access, but we can't, and we don't have. We want to know how to have access to it, and then when we have access to it, we want to know how to navigate it, how to kind of find our way through it, which always can often feel challenging. Mm-hmm. And plus there's, the thing of dealing with racism, which is on a daily basis. There's access to funding, which can seem like a real mountain to climb for Black social entrepreneurs. And then there's something around personal development and mindset, which Ademola, you can talk about that all day long. So I'll leave that to you.
I know, right?
Do you know what I mean? And then there's also the kind of developing infrastructures and systems. So like developing kind of the business skills and organizational development that we really wanted to challenge. I'm aware that I'm talking too long, but there's I just want to talk about the 2 questions that
Go for it, yeah.
Choosing to kind of address, which, and I say that because I'd really like to hear more from the people out there listening. One of the questions were, given that Black social entrepreneurs are confident, enterprising, and outstandingly capable, how might we break down systemic anti-Black racism? I can put that in the chat in a minute if it's helpful. But the other question is, how might we as Black social entrepreneurs navigate the spaces and systems in place that prevent us and our social enterprises from thriving? So they're the questions that we're now kind of getting to the point of creating solutions for. So we're looking at ways that we can design a program for social entrepreneurs that kind of address those 2 questions. Awesome. And I'll talk about the solutions.
If you put that into the chat, we'll post it on the main chat. But yeah, thank you. Okay. That's amazing. Great work. And for those of you that are listening, so these are solutions that we're working on, because there's no point just talking about the problem without actually having a solution and then working towards it. Remember what I said earlier about being calm. I think I said calm, being calm and strategic. Being calm, being focused, and being strategic. Like, it's very, very important, and that's what this is talking about. Thank you very much for that, Amy. So I'm going to go on to Michelle. Great to have you on, Michelle.
Hi.
Hello. Hi there.
Hi.
So tell us about you. What are you doing? What are you up to? Why did you start this Learning in Action? Tell us about that.
So Learning in Action has come a long way. I have been on a long journey with my own learning challenges. I recently found out that I am dyslexic, and my learning has always been a problem or a concern of mine. From school right through university. So I did my degree, and I'm currently doing a master's. So I've always provided training spaces and learning spaces that enable people, male and female, to learn in a brave space that's a safe space where they can be autonomous and authentic in the environment. So the space it's not about what they gain. It is about what they gain, but it's about how they gain it, not necessarily just about taking the information away, but how much fun are you having? Because we know that the best way to learn is when you're having fun. How much play is involved? What are the activities like? How are the needs being met of the individual in the space when they're learning? So I've hosted events and done workshops. I've run a couple of I do an event called the Lounge UK. The Lounge UK came out a lot in our design and training sessions with PwC and the rest of the team. And it's mostly about providing spaces where people feel comfortable in their learning. Education is the key to progress. And if you cannot learn, if you can't retain and absorb the information, you can't thrive and do the things that you need. So that's how Learning in Action came about. The learning spaces are very alternative. So I do what's called action learning sets, where people get the opportunity to sit in small spaces. You come with the challenges and the issues that you're facing, and you leave with the answers or actions that you can follow through on, because the people that are in the space help you find the answers. They don't give you the answers. And there's a very unique way of approaching the situation for the individual to be able to come out. I do participation and research. That's another alternative way of engaging in learning. So identifying what the challenge is through the research enables people to understand how they can address the challenge that they're facing. And then I work with organisations to enable teams to become more effective in their delivery and service and infrastructure through supporting staff and leaders, so that they can have a clear understanding of where they want to go and how they want to do it, but through a training style. And then they get to implement the skills. They get to use all the resources that are within the space without having to look outside the space for more resources, and put that all together to make their organisations great.
And why do you do it? Why do you do that to yourself?
Say that again?
I said, why do you do that to yourself? Like, there's a passion.
All right.
About that.
All that thinking. I think it was growing up and always from junior school. So from junior school, I have spent a lot of time in the head's office. A lot of time. From junior school. And it was only until I started kind of working with young people and delivering and becoming a specialist youth worker and working with young people around sexual health, drugs and alcohol, that I was able to identify that there's no such thing as hard to reach. That's just a common term that we use when we can't engage with young people and children who don't want to engage with us. And it was from there that I kind of realized that my alternative style of learning was I was able to impart that with children and young people, because I'd had to almost cultivate a way of learning and understanding things because of my learning disability that had gone identified for a very, very long time. And also just growing up and kind of being labelled as that young woman who was cheeky, rude, disrespectful, got no manners. All those terms that you hear, but actually underneath all those things is a young person that is actually struggling with something. There's a challenge, there's an issue, there's a problem, and it's identifying what those issues, challenges and problems are so they can get the best out of life. So that's why I do it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And it was almost like you listened to our first conversation today. We did it with an organization called the Brave Project. They deal with mental health for young Black men. Because the stats there are very, very high. It's like one of those pink elephants in the black and white room. And she also said about the term of hard to reach. Did you hear that session earlier?
No, I didn't. I didn't know.
So we started by saying hard to reach. And I think that hard to reach statement it definitely points to like the pink elephant again. There it is. It's like, what do you mean hard to reach? They're right there. You're like, they're not hard to reach. Just just connect with them.
Conversation.
I think somebody said earlier in the chat that then no one's hard to reach unless you don't want to reach them. And I actually thought that's actually quite significant and quite poignant. And just to also ask you before we move on as well, Michelle, how can people get in contact with Learning in Action? If somebody's like, I love that, I love what she's doing, how can they get involved?
Mainly on my socials. So at the moment, I use 2 socials really at the moment. I use Instagram, that's learning in lia.peaceofmind, at lia.peaceofmind. That's my Instagram handle. My Twitter handle is lia_speaks, and you can find me at on LinkedIn, and that's Michelle Thompson.
Perfect. So we're gonna so that's pinned here now, and we'll also share that on our website so people can actually reach out to you. We'll aim to have that up by Tuesday this coming week. But yeah, like, thank you for that. Thank you. I'm going to also, let's have a look. Because I'm going to post the questions, Amy, that you've asked into the chat for people, for everyone to see. But let's just, maybe at this point, maybe as Black social entrepreneurs, talk about the challenges that you faced. And I think also, Amy, as well, let's talk about this. I know we had that conversation and I just said, look, it's just like there is this extra large pink elephant and this room is black and white. And then you say, hey, can't you see that? And the person's like, no. What elephant? And then you're like, but this is an issue. They're like, what's a room? What's an elephant? You're literally thinking, what are you talking about? How can you not see the challenge? So for me, what really started off this for us at 1000 Black Boys, I shared earlier, was just looking at the stats for young Black boys, young Black men in London initially, which was in 2019 and 2020. I'm putting this out there responsibly just because there was a problem that we saw and we just said, this is not okay. We're not okay with this being the case. And we want to transform this, that something's not working. So 70% of teenagers that were killed in London in 2019 and 2020, 70% were Black boys, 70. And I was just like, that's an issue. That's a pink elephant. And I just couldn't be okay with it. And then that year I had my 9-year-old nephew get threatened in school by a 10-year-old. And I was like, that's it. That's enough. No more. I'm not going to have this be ignored. I'm going to just literally engage. So if you can just talk about what you saw, what were the pink elephants that you came across and just thought, nah, this is not okay. Just throwing that open.
I can say something about that, Ademola. So for me, there's something about, I think what we discussed quite a lot was whose responsibility is this? So there's all these pink elephants, and I can honestly say that they are things that often white people don't see and don't talk about and don't address. And what the solutions that we came up with in this process, what we were really careful to do, and I hope we'll go on to do, is that the onus won't all be on Black social entrepreneurs to build their skills, personal development, etc., etc. But actually, it will be on the institutions that are systemically racist or predominantly white to address some of these issues and to talk about some of the pink elephants in the room and to do something, to actually take action rather than just providing something that you know, that kind of has a certain power dynamic. So, for example, if you talk about mentoring, which we do a lot at SSE, and also PwC do that, we talked about mentoring being more of an exchange. So you all came up with this idea around these immersive experiences. So for Black entrepreneurs to work with staff at PwC that may be Black or white. To be honest, there's a diversity within the staff, some diversity within the staff, both at SSE and PwC. So it's not so much to do with necessarily to do with race, but it's to do with understanding each other's worlds and immersing yourself in another person's world. So we're exploring how we might immerse an entrepreneur in, for example, a boardroom situation, and then similarly take, for example, a senior staff member from PwC who may be white, and you talked, Ademola, about taking them to Tottenham and introducing them to the Caribbean restaurants of Tottenham. And
yeah, Peppers and Spice is very good. It's lovely.
Yeah. So, you know, and which I think is just so exciting and important. You know, it's like that's how you get the conversations around the pink elephant. That's how you start to talk about and embed these conversations in everyday life. So we had such a one, you know, for me it was such a amazing experience to sit for about 3 hours, 4 hours, and for us to be able to talk about these things together. I don't know what it was like for you, but for me it felt so important, and I felt like I want more people like me to have the opportunity to have these discussions, because there's not enough of it.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Amy. And for those of you that are listening, I also want you to listen to the commitment behind Amy's words. So she's definitely committed to something. So she saw something that wasn't working, and she just said, no, enough. We want to do something about this. And I think it's really powerful that to see that racism and to say, this is not okay. What can we do to transform it? And that the onus isn't just on the Black social entrepreneurs, but it's on the systems that they engage with, the types of organizations that they engage with, and being willing to have that kind of conversation. So I want you to listen to her commitment and the courage behind what she's doing and what they're doing, which is huge. Very, very powerful. And we posted some of the comments and some of the questions in the chat. But the first thing is, this is somebody who's up to something. This is somebody who's committed to something, and she's willing to literally stand for it. So I'd like it to acknowledge her. So from me, definitely, thank you for taking that on. And for those of you that are also in the chat, do likewise, do the claps, do the whoops and all that stuff. So thank you. But yes, similarly over to you, Michelle Kondwani. What were some of the pink elephants that you came across? And you're just like, what do you mean you can't see the pink elephant?
I think the number one pink elephant for me was that Black female entrepreneurs were and are not higher on the agenda of need. I think it was when Kwandane was like, I started talking about Black female entrepreneurs, and he was like, I'd never even considered it as a thing. And that was really interesting for me, because I already knew it was a challenge and an issue for Black women as mothers, as women who work, who have struggles around working part-time and then wanting to start a business and financially not being able to do so, and are looking after wider and extended family members, learning the English language and having a clear understanding of how to put their best foot forward in all the different challenges that they face around single motherhood, around, like I said, around looking after elderly parents, raising children, working full-time and part-time, running a home. So
I know, right? That's a lot.
It is a lot. It's a lot in itself. And then on top of that, to want to be aspirational enough to say, do you know what, actually, I want more for me, and to put themselves in the center of their concern, and say, actually, where am I in this space of all these things that I do, and how do I enable myself to be seen and to shine? So that was definitely a pink elephant in the room. And the other thing that I often will hear about, see about, know about, is the fact that a lot of Black women don't have a voice in public spaces, in their workspaces. And because it almost becomes sort of a kind of thing where women will say, do you know what, I'll just get on with it. Black women have got this thing where they just crack on. Like, I'm just going to get on with it. I'm not going to moan. I'm not going to complain. I ain't got the time to moan and complain. I'm just going to get on with it. So they get lost in a lot of systems that are systemic, that are racist. And that's not just outside in the workplace and the work field. That could be in the shopping centres. That could be at home. So for me, it was about, where do Black women fit in this agenda, and how do we give them a space where they could be more heard and more seen? And that's a massive pink elephant in the room, just being a Black woman.
Awesome. Thank you for your passion there, Michelle. Thank you for expressing that. And yeah, thank you for what you do. So that's the pink elephant that Michelle saw. Conrani, which ones did you see that kind of like moving around and just trashing the house?
I think for me, one of the major ones as well, apart from the race topic we're talking about, is the fact that health, for me, speaking from a personal experience, and like, on behalf of Babs as well, which is why we run Fresh RB, is the fact that, marginalized health conditions, they tend to be kind of pushed on the side. They're the pink elephants, whereby until somebody that's closest to you is affected, it's a bit like the COVID situation, until somebody who is directly impacted by COVID or has lost a life, that's when you get to kind of appreciate how serious the situation is. So reverting back to the marginalized health themes, it's finding that, there's a lot of health conditions out there that a lot of people will not know, and having a health condition that is not visible, i.e. invisible disabilities, actually, what they're called, for example, ME. Nobody will really understand why maybe I'm walking very slowly, even though, I look like a fit young man. Fit, I mean, by, exercise-wise and stuff.
and you also, yeah, why not? Like fit young man, you can say that too.
So yeah, and but then to help in a sense to build relationship, connection, recognition, purpose, and that community.
Michael should have done. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was being asked a question. I was on mute. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. Yeah. So as I was saying, so seeing the need that relationship building, for example, the designs of the workshops that we run through the Silent Elephant project, the media workshops, is that we try to build relationship, connection, recognition, and obviously purpose. And in the process, you then build community cohesion. Now, obviously, the key objectives for us really through the Silent Elephant project is to raise awareness of the health theme, and in the process help build engagement, teach media skills in the process, because the students that go through the process, they learn media skills, and in the process reduce loneliness. And that's why it's very important throughout the process of the workshops that they get to meet somebody with a lived experience, so then they get to share and hear their story, and then from their story they get inspired to create a fictional storyline, which they then put into this short film, and with all the statistics and everything else that goes with it. It's a different topic in terms of the details, but you get my point. And then at the end of it all, there's the coming together through the screening, for example, which is where we get to promote that cohesion, bring the community together, wherever that is, be it in the school assembly or within the community local cinemas, which we've used in the past. Is using those kind of spaces. And obviously now with COVID, we have the online space, and how do we then utilize that? So it's all about using the tools that we have at our disposal to still make sure that impact is reached within the community, and hopefully in the wider society, that we help raise awareness. Because at the end of the day, certain health conditions, just me emphasizing on health, you find that the funding was never available because there wasn't enough voices that were present or brought forth. And so if we can play our own role in that field, in a sense, to help give voices to different themes, then at least we're giving it a chance, through research. And one of the breakthroughs in terms of research I can speak at the moment is with the fact that long COVID has enabled more research to be, more research funding available for them to investigate how to fight long COVID, because of obviously the long-term implications for not just the community and the family, but also the nation as a whole. And obviously that's then got the ripple effect for ME and CFS, because they're very similar, and basically it's, if not one of the same illness. So it's little things like that that then you get to appreciate, and you look back, sit back, and then when you see the young people engage in the topics, it's very, very powerful. So yeah, that's my pink elephant in terms of health-wise. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Kondwani. So you spoke about the health pink elephant. Michelle spoke about the pink elephant for Black women that are entrepreneurs. Amy spoke about the pink elephant just within the system. I'd be kind of like, no, it's nothing wrong. The room is trash, but no, it's okay. And what I really want to convey, I'm sure you guys know this, and for people that are listening, is that we've all seen these pink elephants. And for me, so was the stats around young Black boys in London that were having their lives taken at such a young age. And we just said, we want to transform this conversation. So we didn't just sit there and fold our arms and just kind of join along with the sob stories around it, but we literally went, no, that we're moved by this and we want to make a difference. And I just want to encourage you out there that if you see things that you are not happy with and it really moves you, then you, if you can see me pointing towards you, you are the person to go and make that difference. There's no point waiting for some magician to kind of turn up in your house and say, hey, problem solved. It doesn't work that way. It was a similar thing in what Makeda said. So she saw something that she wasn't happy with and she just literally took it on. Similar thing with Donnell, Ashan and Chris from the Brave Project. And we're just encouraging you that that's a part of keeping moving forward. It's when you see something that's not working or things that are broken, and you don't just sit there and fold your arms or tolerate imposter syndrome, but you go and do. You go for it. And it makes a difference because look at us, here we are today, doing the things that we're doing. I'm going to quickly go back to Amy very shortly, just to ask about, so there's lots of social entrepreneurs, Black social entrepreneurs that are going to be hearing this, they're probably online right now. It'd be great to find out about what are some of the projects that the School of Social Entrepreneurs are working on that they can get involved with. I think I saw one of them on your auto signature during the week. I thought, hey, we need to shout that out on Saturday. And before Amy does that, if you have a look in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, so in the chat, we've put 2 questions in there. I'm going to pin them onto the screen one at a time. So the first question that we would like you to have a look at and to answer is, let me pin this, let's have a look. There we go. So given that Black social entrepreneurs are confident, enterprising, and outstandingly capable, how might we break down systemic anti-Black racism? So put some of your thoughts and comments into the chat, because we can then go back to that and then look at how we can incorporate your feedback into the program that we're creating. So it's a chance for you to participate and to get involved. So please answer this question as Amy tells us about the projects that they're doing. And at some point during Amy's, as she's talking, I'm going to then pin the second one at some point. Cool. Amy, over to you. Go for it.
Thanks. Yeah, that's really great putting that up, and just want to reiterate that any comments that come in will indeed be fed into any design that we do for the future program. So in terms of the programs that we're doing for Black social entrepreneurs, so there's our partner PwC, who are, I just want to give them a big up, because they have been really supportive and put money into this. And a lot of the staff that from the Design for Good team, for example, who've been involved and have been really great. So I just want to say a big shout out to.
Just on that point, sorry to cut you. Actually, I'm not sorry, but if I can. So yeah, big up to the team at PwC. For those of you that are listening, give them a clap. Maybe they can watch this later on. So people that have been working with us on the project have been Sarah, been amazing. Lauren, Ran, it's been amazing. I know Maggie does a lot of stuff in the background with us. Was it Sarah as well? Is this about to Sarah already?
And Angela as well.
Angela.
Yeah.
They're really working with us, and you can tell that they've got a commitment and a passion for this work. So please give them a clap and a whoop in the chat, and we'll share this with them as well.
Thanks. Yeah. And so the program that we're doing with you is that we've done the human-centered design. What we've got from that will feed into what you guys are involved in over the next few months, and along with 6 other Black social entrepreneurs that we're doing in partnership with PwC. So that's a 3-year program. So we'll have 2 more cohorts that will take part in that, and there's 10 Black social entrepreneurs on each of those. So they'll happen for the next 3 years. Michelle is delivering a program for us in Birmingham in West Midlands.
She finds time in her diary for that.
Do you know what I mean? Amazingly, and yeah, we're in the process of designing that, which is really exciting. And that's another 15 Black social entrepreneurs from the West Midlands, which will take place from April through for 12 months. There's also other programs that we do. So the one that you're talking about that's in my signature, it's one that's funded by the Lloyds Bank, and it's actually a national program. So it's all across the UK. There are programs being delivered all across the UK, mainly startup programs. So they're for people who have got an idea for an enterprise that has some kind of impact, positive impact in the world, and you will have kind of tried it out. You'll have had a go. You'll know what you're doing. You'll have spoken to the people who you want to be involved, and you will come to us and put in an application, and we will interview you. And if you get on the program, it comes with a 10-day learning program. You have action learning sets, which Michelle was talking about earlier, which are these small peer learning groups. You have bigger peer learning groups where we bring in speakers. No doubt you will all come in and speak at them at some point. And you will have a mentor from Lloyds Bank. And it also comes with a small grant as well. And I actually can't remember how much that grant is, sorry, but it's all on our website. It's all on the School for Social Entrepreneurs website, along with other programs. There's another program that we're doing, which I'm really excited about, which is called the Heritage Trade Up program. So that's for organizations working in heritage, which is we're out to recruit for that at the moment. But by heritage, we don't necessarily mean buildings. It might be buildings, but we also mean identity. So identity, environment, spaces. So we're working with the Black Cultural Archives on that program, amongst other amazing organizations who are helping us to design a program. So we if you're a Black entrepreneur or a Black leader of change working within the heritage sector, please have a look on our website, and that kind of defines it a bit more clearly there. But that's a program that's similarly 12 months long, starts in October, and comes with what we call a trade back grant, which means we give you £4,000 and then we'll give you up to an additional £6,000 for everything you trade during that time. So it's a kind of incentivizing way of giving money. You trade £1,000, we give you £1,000. So that's a really exciting program, which I think will be fantastic, as is Michelle's. Unfortunately, we've already recruited for, but fortunately, we have a great cohort of people to work with. But those are the ones that are available, but more on our website.
Brilliant. And if it's also okay, we'd like to put some of this information on our website as well, so we can point people to this.
Definitely.
So for those of you that are out there that've got your social enterprises, and you are doing work by yourself, this is available for you. Remember what Makeda said earlier about mentorship being key. I'm going to say mentorship and coaching is key. And I say this from a place of love. If you're running your company, your business, and you've got no mentors, you've got no coaches, you're wasting your time. Just go to bed. You're wasting your time. But if you want to get out of bed and literally make a difference, you've got to have mentors and coaches around you. So mentors is somebody who's done what you want to do and will give you knowledge and information. A coach will work with you on, well, why didn't you take the action that you need to take? And those two things really drive you forward to produce incredible results. And what Amy and her team are offering right now is access to mentorship and development for your social enterprises. So please make use of this. So take this on. It's one of the actions that I would encourage you to definitely do. And what I'm also going to say here as well is there's something else I also want to say. Let's have a look. Where's it gone? It's kind of gone somewhere. Come back to me later. Okay. See, our time, we've got 2 minutes left. Our time has flown so quickly. But yeah, for those of you, please continue to answer the question. So this is the first question. I can see some responses. So Sylvester said, good question. Get into the root of the problem. Unfortunately, it's root born out of white supremacy in major institutions. There needs to be a history lesson in regards to how it came about. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. And then 100 Black Men of London said, need to understand the main blockers. Okay, if you could elaborate on that, that'd be really, really helpful because we will capture this information. And for the other people that are online, answer this question. So this is the first question that we literally went through. Maybe what we can also do actually, Amy, if you're okay with this, we can send this out on email to our database and say, hey, look, listen, give us some, what are your thoughts to this? So the first one that we dealt with was this one. So given that Black social entrepreneurs are confident, enterprising, and outstandingly capable, how might we break down systemic anti-Black racism? So that's one question. And then the second one was, how might we as Black social entrepreneurs, so that's for us, navigate the spaces and systems in place that prevent us and our social enterprises from thriving? So those are questions I would love for you to answer. And we're also going to send this to you on email next week. Say, look, listen, answer this question. If you're not on our mailing list, this would be a good time to join our mailing list. Yeah, go for it. Totally do it. And thank you for all your responses. Thank you. And we'll also put information for the programs that Amy's mentioned on our site for you to see what it is and how to get involved. I knew this time would fly, and it is doing exactly that. I mean, so just to ask in closing, one tip from each of you, from your experience, on how people can keep moving forward at a time like this, whether that's in business or in life. So 2020 was really challenging for lots of people. We're now approaching the 4th month of 2021, and people are still facing difficulties. Some are moving forward, some are stuck. What would be your one tip to people that are listening?
I think for me, I would say perseverance and persistence. I know it's two things, but they kind of fall in line. It's important to have that in you. And if anything, if you don't have that in you, just try and see how you can grow and develop that aspect of it, because life every time throws us challenges which we're out of control, and the best you can do is focus within yourself and see how you can control your own self within and everything else around you, and then move forward. And in moving forward, just make sure you bring value, and value should always stand out no matter who you are or what you look like. And yeah, at the end of the day, society will appreciate what you bring to the community. Awesome.
So persistence and perseverance. Thank you very much, Kundwani. Amy, from you, one tip to keep moving forward in 2021.
Yeah, I'd say first and foremost, take care of your health and well-being. Your strength is the most important thing. And the other thing, very quickly to say, is it's not all up to you. So there's something around networks and support and communities of support, which is so important. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. I'm just typing this out so I can press send. So not all up to you. So networks. Cool. Awesome. Michelle, from you.
I'd say be patient and kind to yourself, and be okay with saying no to certain things. I think in the changes and the opportunities that will present in the coming out of COVID, because the market's going to get flooded with lots of stuff and lots of people wanting to do lots of things, that every opportunity isn't necessarily going to be right for you, and to be patient with the ones that are, and say no to the ones that just don't feel right, and sit comfortably with that, because there are 101 ways to say no. And it's working out the best ways to say no for you. And it's something that a lot of people don't actually kind of tell you in entrepreneurship. It's kind of like the opportunities there, take as many opportunities as you can, but not all of them are going to be right. And it's important to be able to say no to the ones that aren't, and be patient with yourself with the ones that you think are really going to take you forward.
Amazing. I've just pressed send on that. So literally it's out there for everyone to use and to make use of. And I just want to say, real pleasure to have you all on. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. I know we've been working together on that project and program now since Jan, but yeah, it's really great to have you, come into our house.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Ademola.
My pleasure. And see you later. I'll see you next week, the 31st.
See you on Tuesday. Yeah.
30th. Awesome. Well, have a great one.
Thanks, everyone.
See you later.
All right. Take care. Stay safe.
What an amazing conversation. Phenomenal conversation. That was brilliant. I hope you found that useful and inspiring. And just a really key thing I want to pick out there is, so we see challenges, we see problems, we see things that are out there, and we're about, well, how do we solve it? Who do we need to partner with to solve it? I'm all about, don't sit there in your life and be a victim. Don't do it. Because when you do that, so you see a problem, you see a challenge, and you let it beat you up, by engaging with it from a victim mindset, it just robs you of even more power. And it makes things worse, which is not what you want. So the people that you've just seen are a demonstration of, if you want to make a difference somewhere, go out and do it. Go out and do it. And talking about that, we've now got an amazing bunch of people about to join us very, very shortly. So we had them speak with us in our January event. So we had the 100 Black Men of London that came on. We had Michael come on. Came on with Adam. And they're doing some really inspiring, amazing, phenomenal, great things. And we just said, you know what? You guys are coming back, and let's meet more of the team. So I want to bring them on right now. There's a whole team. Yeah. There's a whole team of them, which is just a demonstration of the difference that they make and the impact that they've had on lives. So here is Michael. Hello, Michael. How are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Just got in seat just in time. I heard you announcing. I ran to the seat, but yeah, all good.
That's fine. I'm gonna say something very, very short. Yeah, no, I just kind of waited for you, but I saw you eating some. Was that fufu earlier?
Yeah, you caught me. I thought my camera was off. But nah, yeah, you caught me.
I thought, wow, I'm hungry. I'm just sat here thinking, where's my food gonna be ready?
I was enjoying as well. And
there's Adam. Adam, pleasure to have you back. Thank you for being on.
Thank you for having us again.
And this is, hold on. That's Dominic. Let's have a look.
Camera's coming on.
Louis, how you doing, Louis? You all right?
Yes, I'm good. It's Lewis. But yeah, lovely to meet you, Ademola, man.
Thank you for correcting me, Lewis. Thank you very much, Lewis.
No
so let me also add on this next man. I've seen him before. I think he did some kind of speech on LinkedIn. And I thought, I love it. Because I love inspiration. I thought, I love it. And it's great that he actually went through your program. So here's Jonas. Hello, Jonas.
I'm good, thank you. Have you? Oh, that's great.
Hey, listen, you could be talking about many a speech, you know. Jonas is out here and consistent, so it could be many a speech.
That's amazing.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure. But I had Jaden. Hello, Jaden. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing brilliant. So all of these phenomenal people, we have them on the flyer. And then we also have an opportunity to bring another person to come and join us. So I just said, go for it, because this is a platform for us to inspire each other and to see the amazing, incredible things that young Black men are doing, young Black boys are doing, just so you see that don't believe the media. Don't believe everything that they tell us. That there's actual examples of incredible things that have been done within our community. So this is Dominic. Dominic, how are you doing? You all right?
I'm doing well.
Brilliant. Hey, I remember your surname looks very, very familiar. But yes, it's okay. We'll discuss that later on. So just gonna really throw that open to all of you. So literally great to have you all on. I'm going to my other screen on this side. But if I can start with you, Michael, just to reintroduce us to 100 Black Men of London. Who are you? Why do you do what you do? And share some of your results with us.
All right, cool. I'll take parts of it, and then what I try and do is just forward it on to the rest of the team. What I wanted to do is try and get the young people to highlight some of the things as well, because it's better coming from the horse's mouth. And seeing the results that they've got. So obviously the 100 Black Men of London for us, it actually started in America. So we're a chapter of the 100 Black Men International, and there's loads of chapters around the world, especially in America where it started from, and it started around like the civil rights movement. And there was times when they basically wanted to see more Black men taking roles of power, being good role models, in a situation where you weren't necessarily seeing it as much. So that's how it started, and this was like 1960. So it's been around for a long, long time. 20 years ago, our 20th birthday is actually in April. So 20 years ago, Ken Barnes and a few others started it in London. There was also one in Birmingham, but it's not around anymore. But it started in London, and we're trying to replicate what they're doing in America, being like strong Black role models as well. We have our members, which are the men. We have our volunteers, which are the women. So even though we're called 100 Black Men of London, it is men and women. And a lot of the time, it's probably the women doing a lot of the work, to be honest, rather than the men. But we're trying to change that. We're growing on that. But it's just the way it is. So we get support from our ladies as well as the men. But we have 4 main areas that we focus on within the 100, and we call them our 4 pillars. So that's health and wellness, education, mentoring, and economic empowerment. Obviously, 4 key areas that we all need, especially when we're building our community as well. So we teach them to young people, teach them to the adults as well. The mentoring at the moment is for our young people, and obviously, as you can see, you've got the young people in the group today. You also have Lewis as well, who's one of the mentors within the 100. But we set up like an organization. So behind the scenes, you have other roles. Like we have, for example, we have our marketing, our admin, our operations, pastoral care, even like people who do events and stuff like that, our fundraising, finance, running like any other organization would. And the aim is obviously to be like self-sufficient as well. So we're not relying on funds from outside, but we can run ourselves, which comes into our economic empowerment. And also for what we try and reach is a lot of the young people who need mentors, because that's one of our, if not our biggest vision for anyone who's underprivileged or coming from an area where they don't necessarily have a role model, to have a mentor. That's our biggest vision. That's what we're working towards. And then we have our motto as well. There's so much we can say about the 100, to be honest. So that's why it's all over the place that I'm just giving this information. So we'll have our motto as well, is what they'll see is what they'll be, which inspires all of us to be the best version of ourselves. If we're being the best version of ourselves, then then the young ones can see that, and then they'll try and be the best version of themselves. So in everything we do and everything we try and teach them, that is all the mottos behind them. And for our 4 pillars that I mentioned earlier, is all underpinned by leadership, which comes in again to what they'll see is what they'll be. We all need to be leaders in every single area that we're in. And then what I'm going to do from now is stop talking, and anyone else can jump in and talk more about the 100. Because I was trying today to do like a 2-minute. I think last time we came on, I took up all the time. So I'm gonna let others do the talking for this one, for the next bits.
Awesome. Well, let's start with Adam. Just give us a quick introduction about you. So we want to hear from you as somebody who's been on the program. So tell us about the 100 Black Men. Tell us about the program and how you found it.
So hi guys, my name is Adam Stewart. I'm currently 18 years old, a peer mentor at the 100 Black Men of London, which is the final stage on the program, as Michael said earlier. Outside of that, I'm a deputy head boy at my school. And I'm a youth leader at my church as well. But yeah, one of the reasons why I decided to join the 100 Black Men of London was because of what I saw that they were doing in the community and how they were actually able to impact a lot of young people that look like myself as well. And just because they were giving back and they were, like the slogan is, what they see is what they'll be. I was really seeing that firsthand, that they were really having an impact in the community, that they did want to see other young Black people win, that they wanted to actually support Black people whether they came from broken homes or homes that were stable, and just actually able to just give them that future that some of us wish we had, kind of thing. So when I said that, I was like, yeah, the 100 Black Men are doing a great thing. So it was a no-brainer for me to actually get involved and actually try and support as well. And yeah, that's me really.
and how has it supported you? Give us how it's developed you.
100%. It'll be more so confidence as well. I was doing a bit of what do you call it, public speaking beforehand anyway, but actually coming into the 100 Black Men of London, there were people on a whole nother level. When I met people like Jonas, Vanessa, and everybody else, I was like, wow, like there's more to this kind of thing. And they were really leveling up and like mastering their craft. And I was like, okay. Every week we used to do like kind of stimulations on or whatever. They would just throw a topic and we had to kind of do a speech on that kind of thing. And every single week I just saw that I was getting better and better at developing myself as well. Confidence kind of coming up my shell, being able to speak to new people. And yeah, helping me with like entrepreneurial aspects. I want to kind of go down to that route as well. So even like on a small level and just other areas of my life, not only education, but finances, but mindset, but health. And it just like, it's helping me mold, it's helping mold me into the person I'm becoming today. And yeah, growing me into the leader that I've always wanted to be.
That's amazing. Thank you very much for that, Adam. We'll definitely come back to you as well. Maybe after I've done the round, we'll just literally throw it open for you to just contribute as you see fit. So let me go to Louis. Louis, thank you for being on. So tell us about your journey with 100 Black Men and how it's impacted you.
Yeah, so my name's Lewis Howell, for those that don't know. So
I called him Louis again. Sorry, Lewis.
Hakuna Matata, man. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so I joined the 100 4 years ago as a member. And for me, it was very interesting in terms of how it all occurred. It actually was very timely because I must admit that as someone who has worked within the youth and education space for over 12 years now, it was interesting that in 2016, I had a really, really big wake-up call, which is that I remember I was going for a run one day and I was like, this year alone, it was March. I was like, this year alone, you've done stuff in Gloucester, Newcastle, this place, that place. But what have you done for, first of all, London? Second of all, if I was to be really specific, Lewisham, where I live. And third of all, specifically for the Black community. And it was very limited stuff. It was very little. I hadn't done as much for the past, if I'm being honest, couple of years. So I had been on a journey from 2016 to really look at how can I go about ensuring that I am making as much of a contribution towards the growth and development of the communities that I know I am a significant part of, that I know have benefited me in terms of moving from childhood to adulthood. And so it was interesting that one day I was in the office, gone on LinkedIn, and I'll be honest with you, Adamole, I just saw something that popped up and just said, yeah, like mentoring Black boys, something. I don't know. I was just like, yeah, do you know what? Like, I work in youth and education. I run an educational social enterprise. It sounds like a bit of me. Let me go to the event and just see what's going on. Now, this is where I made a mistake. I assumed it would run on Black people time, but it wasn't. I got there and the thing was fully underway. I think I missed most of the event. But I remember just going there, seeing the level of engagement, seeing what people were saying their experiences have been like. And I said, yeah, this is it. I'm involved. So I signed up as a member and never looked back, really. And my journey's been quite interesting because I mainly joined just to be able to mentor. But as time went on, I did play a part in the marketing committee for a period of time. Then I more moved towards looking at how do we evolve our mentoring program to make it one that actually allows young people to have more ownership over the way it's run. So I was part of introducing that something that we do now called project-based learning. So yeah, man, that's very much what my journey's been like in terms of being with the 100.
That's brilliant. Tell us a little bit about your CIC as well, your social enterprise.
Yeah, well, I run two actually. So one is called Revolution Hive.
Did you hear that? He runs two. How old are you? Let me ask him.
It depends on the day. But yeah, so I run two. One of them is called Revolution Hive. So we equip young people for life beyond the classroom. So we go into schools, colleges, universities, and we run workshops and programs around personal development, social responsibility, and global citizenship. And the other one, which was set up more recently, is called 7PK. And that's very much an evolution of the work that I was being asked to do as like a consultant and trainer prior. But effectively, 7PK exists to help people from disadvantaged situations to have more equity within society and be able to accelerate their progress through life. But based on the fact that we know they need to overcome certain barriers. So we do a lot of work around helping organizations to improve their youth and community engagement, to improve their EDI, so, you know, their equity, diversity and inclusion work, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, those are the two that I run.
That's brilliant. And just asking again, so what's your age today?
How old do you want me to be? I mean, I'll be honest with you, 5 minutes before the live, I was listening to some J5 and that, and I was thinking I might be about 18. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I might be about 18, but then, to be honest with you, just before that, I was doing the cash flow forecast and management accounts for my business. I felt 40, so I'm somewhere within that region. Do you get what I'm saying?
So between 18 and 40 somewhere.
Yeah.
But I just want to just say, so as a young black man, like these are the things that he's up to. So these are things for those of you that are listening that you that you won't hear on the media. Generally, you won't be given this as a headline news, and this is what this conversation is about. So you can see, you can see that there's people that are, young black men, black boys, they're doing great and incredible things. So I hope
respect to you for creating this platform, because I think what you're doing is fantastic, and having us here today, we're grateful for it, and also to everybody else you've had, and you're clearly shining a spotlight on things that need to be shone upon. So respect, with massive respect.
Oh, thanks, Lewis. I've got your name right now, but yeah, thank you very much. And just on that point as well. So literally, yeah, again, for those of you that are listening, so when I first launched the company, and I just had for me, it was like a spiritual experience, just like, what should I call it? 1,000 Black Boys just literally came out in conversation with someone. So I was talking with a colleague of mine that I used to work with. He grew up in Hackney, East London. So a week before, I had an issue with my nephew and somebody in his class. Week afterwards, he had a problem with his nephew at a school in Lewisham. So the boy lived in Hackney, used to go to a school in Lewisham. So that kind of caused conflict in that school. And there was like a big fight, and he was a big boy, so he defended himself. And I was like, do you know what? I want to transform this and going to start this project. And he just asked me, what are you going to call it? I promise you, I had no name, but what came out was just boom, 1,000 Black Boys. Like, it just came out. And that's where the name came from. And then there was a thing around, well, some people are like, well, why is it just Black Boys? And I thought, good question. And I was just like, that's just, they're the ones I'm called to. They're the ones that this project is called to. And I looked at the stats, and I just said, this is the mission. And I'm also saying this because some people, I had an exchange with somebody on LinkedIn last year. I'll say this, and then I'll go to Jonas very, very shortly. And there's a reason why I'm saying this. I'm saying this, that if you have a passion for something and you've got a vision for something, go after it. Don't let people's opinion stop you. Because people's opinion is their opinion. It's got nothing to do with you. Their problems is not yours. Their opinion is not your problem. Just keep it that they can deal with it. So this guy on LinkedIn was talking about 1,000 Black Boys. You guys are racist. You guys hate white people. Like, he said this stuff. And I just looked at it and I shared our vision with him. I said, imagine when we have young Black boys, young Black men creating businesses that are the next unicorn of British business, and they're employing people all over the UK. Who benefits? And then I said, what if these young Black boys are now able to create new types of social medias that we've never seen before? Who benefits? If they create something that's absolutely incredible, that transforms the transport system, architecture, fashion, who benefits? So that's why we exist. We're clear that power, that potential, when it's fully in line with purpose, it transforms the world, which is our slogan. And on that note, going to go to this inspiring young man called Jonas. Jonas, how are you doing? Tell us about you, what you're doing, how your public speaking career is going, and also how the 100 Black Men of London has impacted your development.
Oh yeah, so firstly, thank you for the amazing compliment, and kudos to you for making this platform for us young people and Black men also to share our stories. So yeah, my name is Jonas Andrew Phillip. I'm a 19-year-old public speaker, workshop facilitator and event host. And my journey started with the 100 in about October 2016. Now, prior to this, I was a kid in school that would always be getting excluded. I was always in trouble in school. But to be honest, it wasn't because I was a quote unquote bad. It was because teachers didn't like hearing the truth. Okay, yeah, sorry, international speaker. Sorry, I forgot that. Sorry, Michael. So yeah, so I was the kid that would say something wasn't fair. That's when I'd say something like, "This isn't fair. Why are you doing this?" And of course, adults are gonna hate a little 12-year-old telling them the truth, right? So then Jonas excluded, Jonas is genocide, Jonas is bad. Send Jonas to the pupil referral unit. Da 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 da. So my mom then said to me, "Jonas, I'm gonna send you to the." I did a little something before this, but then she said, "We still need more because you've come off a tough year in year 9. Year 9 was a very tough year for me in school. So, but it was a lot of soul searching for me. So I'm grateful for it." And then she said, "I'm taking you to the 100 Black Men of London." And I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. I'm not throwing away my Saturday to come to this place. I'm not doing that. And plus, because I'm a only child in a single parent household who used to get bullied a lot at school, I wasn't trusting of people. I didn't communicate well with people. I didn't trust people because so many times I was backstabbed in my life up to that point. And I remember when I got to the 100, I actually put my hood up and stayed in the corner. I was like, I'm not chatting to any of these people. I'm not even going to look. I'm not going to let them see my face. What's that saying? You know, no case, no face, no case. That was me. No face. You're not seeing my face. But then the current president at the time, Kola, went up to me in the corner and said, just get involved. Just get involved. So I was like, yeah, might as well. So I did a little thing, stood up, and this is the first time I actually spoke in my entire life. So I stood up and it was one line. It was a quiz answer. I said the quiz answer. Then everyone was clapping and I was like, oh, I got something right for once. That's a good turn. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I did that. And then just to speed up the story a bit, we had our first session. I got in trouble for something I didn't do, but I thought I did it due to a Chinese whispers game where someone changed it to a swear word. I changed it to, it wasn't a swear word, but when I was in primary school, a teacher told me it was a swear word, so I thought it was when it's not. But somebody else said it, turned it to an actual swear word, and I thought it was me, so I owned up to it. So I started off on a bad foot there. And throughout my life as well, no matter how I would act in a certain place, whether I was quiet, loud, talkative, friendly, it would always end up somehow being Jonas is a bad kid. So I said to myself, there's no way in hell I'm letting this happen yet again. So I remember just always putting my hand up, always talking and trying to be the best person I can be. I was basically acting the way I acted in school. But in school, I'd get excluded. But at the 100, I would get, what's the word? They would praise me for it. So then I said to myself, is this really a Jonas problem, or is it just the fact that they see me as someone that I'm not? And then I did that. And then I'm grateful to have won the Mentee of the Year, Diamond of the Year, because we call our young people Diamond. So I won that. And just to fast forward, because then in 100, that's when I started my public speaking, actually. And yeah, I started it through the 100, and the 100 gave me the platform to continue to practice it, which I'm really, really grateful for. And yeah, they just encouraged me my whole life to get on with things. And that's why a lot of people would be done with something and they just leave. Like, I finished the whole program. I've been doing it for 5 years. I finished the whole program, but I still come to things like this. I still help out when there's stuff going on at the 100. I still communicate with the mentors, because in my eyes, if I really care about my community and really if I'm grateful for things, I will show that, because everybody talks and talk is cheap, but actions are priceless. So as well as doing my public speaking stuff, which is actually going really well, I also still do stuff within the community. And when the 100 is doing something that I feel fits my skill set, because not everything can really help me. Or I can't help everything, because not everything is my skill set. Like, I can't do painting. I'm terrible at drawing or writing. I can't do that. So if it's something to do with public speaking or maybe careers or something like that, I can get involved in that. But sometimes you got to stay in your lane. But the 100 understands that and only asks me to do stuff in my lane. So yeah, I just continue to stay with, and I see them as a family. I do say it on my Instagram. I say my family, I generally feel that way, because I've grown up with these guys. They've seen me from a little kid. Well, I was 14, 15, but you kind of are a little kid when you're 14, 15. I can't lie. But yeah, when I was a little kid, and now as a young adult, they've watched me grow. So I want to continue to work with them and grow, because they're an amazing organization, just like 100 Black Boys.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jonas. 1,000 Black Boys, by the way, but I get exactly what you mean. And thank you for your inspirational stories. Great to listen to it. So I'm going to go to Jaden, and then I'm going to go to Dominic. But Jaden, tell us about you. Then after we've heard from Dominic, we just literally throw it open. Just get some of your tips, ideas, or just anything that you want to share for people that are listening. But Jaden, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing okay, thank you.
Awesome. Tell us about yourself, your journey with 100 Black Men and how it's impacted your development?
Well, I'm an aspiring rap musician. I'm also part of the 100 Black Men of London, the YLA. How I actually found out about the 100 was actually with the help of my parents, because before I joined the 100, I was going through a lot of personal issues like school, being in the wrong crowd, under the influence, and it was a mess. And I needed that extra guidance in my life to, really shape me up. And so I joined the 100. I joined in 2018, and the growth since then has been immense. It's been impeccable because, joining the 100 has given me an opportunity and a field to just express myself. It's a free flow, and I'm able to just be me, and I think that's kind of helped me to really embrace myself as an individual, and it's definitely made a difference to my personal growth as well.
That's awesome. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for sharing that with us. A few things that you said there as well about being yourself. It's really powerful for those that are listening. I had a quote once which said, "Be yourself because everybody else is taken." So there's no point trying to be like somebody else or comparing. Oh, this person says it like that, or this person, they dress that way. Forget that nonsense. Be yourself. And what I hear from 100 Black Men of London are doing is just inspiring young Black boys, young Black men to literally be themselves, because then that deals with the root cause of what people call knife crime and the challenges in society. So what I hear that you guys are doing, Michael, is you're dealing with the causes of it. You're not dealing with the symptoms. And I also hear that you guys are not just ticking the box. You're not doing this to look good. You're doing this to make a genuine difference, which I think is very, very powerful. So let me go to Dominic. Hello, Dominic. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. So thank you for being on. Tell us about
you.
Go for it.
Oh, sorry. I joined the 100 Black Men around 5 years ago. I believe that the 100 mentoring system is working to help Black people take the first steps to becoming successful people and developing themselves as individuals. The mentoring system educates young people like me, like Adam, and like Malachi, even though he's not here right now, to understand the world around us and to be able to communicate with people. 5 years ago, I would never have imagined myself doing public speaking. But now the 100 has helped me build myself up and give myself an identity in order to do what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
All in all, it helps people build up their confidence,
you guys can come off mute,
learn about themselves.
Yeah, sorry, Dominic. You guys can come off mute and I can kind of see you doing stuff in the background.
No, we need the whole sound effects for that. We need all of that. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need for Dominic. You know? When you hear Dominic talking, that's what we need for Dominic. You know? Come on.
Awesome, Dominic. Sorry, over to you. Well done.
I believe that it helps people create their identity and improve their confidence, as well as learn about themselves and their history, whether it's Black history dating all the way back from the Africans and the Caribbeans, or whether it's Black history today and understanding how we can better ourselves as individuals.
Awesome. And thank you for being on. Thank you for demonstrating the courage to be on. If I can ask you, Dominic, maybe you give me an answer that's not in the range between 18 and 40. How old are you?
I'm 15. I'm going to
Awesome.
be 16 in 3 months.
Thank you very much. For those of you that are listening, parents, a 15-year-old comes on to an event on a Saturday, 6:20 or 6 o'clock in the evening, just to talk about things that inspire people, that inspire other young people. I think that's pretty powerful. I think that's pretty amazing. So if you can, in the chat, give us some comments. You folks aren't shy. I know you guys aren't shy. So let us know how you find this conversation. It'd be great to hear your feedback. Somebody said, great to hear the stories, aspirational. So it's great to hear all of your stories because it does make a huge difference. And something that I want to always remember, regardless of what happens, that people see you as an inspiration. So please keep that up and keep on going. I'm going to throw it back to Michael, then literally open to everyone. Michael, tell us a bit about the programs that are available. So if a parent is watching this, I like that. Yeah. What do you have for them?
So first of all, I think just hearing everyone speak today is obviously a testament to what we're doing within the 100. And I think with each of the young boys that are in, actually young men that are in the chat today, you can see the growth. Well, I can see the growth because I saw how they worked when they first came in. And even if I just start with Dominic, when Dominic first came, and I think I'm always going to tell Dominic the story. I'm always going to give the story when I'm talking about Dominic, because in the first few sessions, Dominic was a bit quiet. He was a bit reserved and everything like that. And I think there was one day he came and he just kept firing answers all the time. And was trying to, we have an event in April, and he was just coming up with different ideas of the things we can do for the event and things that are inspiring. I just had to stop him at one point. I said, what did you have for breakfast this morning? I said, whatever you have for breakfast this morning, have it every single day of your life going forward, and it just showed the growth within it, because I think that was literally in the space of 2 months. And it just showed the growth. And I think what helps is when, at the moment, the class that Dominic's in is with Adam. And what you can see is, so Adam's in his second year of peer mentoring and Dominic's in the first year. And you can see that they're learning from each other, or they're watching each other and they grow with each other. And at that instance, when Dominic was giving all these answers, is when all the other alumni came into the session as well. So you had people like Jonas, who's come through the program, and now he's coming back to support for the events that we've got coming up, and Vanessa and Amunet. And it's almost like when, you know that you see iron sharpens iron. It's like when these other great guys came in as well, it's like that's when Dominic came in and stepped up, and I was like, oh, this is the Dominic. Okay, so now I know. Now that you've shown me that, Dominic, I can't let you be the reserve Dominic anymore. I know what you have behind you. But I think that's part of what we're doing in mentoring. We need to bring out that person that they might not be confident in. They might not be confident in, but we're going to bring them out. And for different people, it comes out in different situations. So obviously that's us speaking about the mentoring and how we can help people. But it's not only just in confidence, but it's in things that maybe necessarily we don't usually talk about. So I think one of the subjects that I like in the mentoring that we talk about is things like family relationships. And a lot of young boys and a lot of young girls will come to the 100 because the parents might say, oh, we came to 100 Black Men of London because they need a positive black male in their lives, and that's why it's come. But they might not touch, and I think you mentioned it before, Edmola, that we don't just touch on the fruits, we touch on the root of the problem. So sometimes when you come there, you just like, oh, he doesn't have a father figure around, or a male role model around, but that's the fruits of it. The root of whatever issue they're going through, and it's not normally even an issue. It's just that they're not at an age yet when they might not know how to express themselves. So we put them in different environments so they can start expressing themselves. So some people might be in writing. There might be a situation where we have to write something, and this person comes and writes a whole book, and we're like, okay, so this is your area. You're going to be that one. And there's like public speaking, like for example, that might be Jonas's way of expressing it. Jaden's way might be through doing his music. Well, actually it is, if you guys have heard his music, and I think you should drop it in the YouTube chat so everyone can start listening to his music on SoundCloud and thing. Jaden, if you haven't done that, I think this is the time. This is it. You need to get a few more followers.
I'll definitely send the link down. Wicked.
Awesome. Because there's loads of things, and so from that side you have that, and we do things like money management. Adam delivered a money management course last year. He's supporting Dominic and his sister Abigail in delivering another money management course in April. Again, things that we're not taught in a school system. So those are some of the programs in terms of the mentoring. But then you also have health and wellness. So at the moment, you might be in a situation where your child may be just at home, not really keeping fit, but they're spending hours in front of like the PlayStation or Xbox or whatever like that. So it's about expanding their mind to think, okay, you can do that, but maybe once a day go for a jog or something, or eat the right food as well. So you're inside. You're not going to be like my mom used to say. You're not going to be young forever. So when I was younger, the amount I used to eat and not put on no weight is crazy. As soon as I started getting older, I got to watch every single thing I eat. That's why even my fufu was small earlier. Like, I didn't get to have the full thing. I have to watch everything. But that teaches that for the health and wellness. Education as well. With education, we're just showing them the different routes. I think beforehand in our education, sector, what they'll say is university was the way. But you can see from these things, like for example, Jonas went into an apprenticeship. I know Adam is he's at the stage now where he's deciding, do I go to university, or do I do like an apprenticeship, or do I do like an internship? And there's these different options that we're kind of trying to show them that you can go different ways. Especially when you get to the peer mentoring level, we kind of try and ask them, okay, what's your aspirations? And I think we spoke about as well the difference between like having a job and having a career and stuff like that. Is that a job might just be something that gets you by for now, but your career is something that you can plan for the future. It's something that you say, okay, this is the end goal, which is like you start with the end in mind. This is where I want to get to. So we give them the options there, and then YLA as well, like where Jaden would be, you can teach you about like businesses, how to run your own businesses as well. And then obviously the last pillar that I mentioned is economic empowerment. So that's for young people and that's for adults, that's for everyone. But that's one of the things that takes away our control within the community. So a lot of the times it's like, oh, we can't do this because this person is prime minister, or we can't do this because this rule is here, or this is here. But we don't have the power in our own hands to make decisions. And then what will happen is, if we stick to, like, let's say, for example, the politics side of it, every 4 years we'll come with 2 people that we can choose from, and that's it. But those 2 people are not fighting for our community. But every other community, every other race is building themselves up with wealth, real wealth, not like the fakeness with the nice cars and all this kind of stuff. Real wealth that comes with power as well and influence. So we try and teach that within economic empowerment, to understand how we come together as one and mix our wealth together and build our wealth together, build our own community. So we're not relying on the handout. So it's great that we're talking about getting grants and stuff from these different organizations, but these organizations as well, which I'm not knocking as well, because we take grants as well, but it'd be good if these organizations were Black-owned organizations giving us grants to help us build our community. Or we're coming together, and if it's not just financial, we're coming together with, this is what the Black community needs. So when the Prime Minister goes up now and is asking us for a vote, it's like, on our list of the things that the Black community needs, which of these are you tackling? Because you're pumping money into the system, you're pumping money into all these things, but then we're in COVID and people are getting stabbed left, right, and center. That's still happening, but you're keeping quiet about that. But you're telling us that you're going to find us for. Hey, I went off on a tangent. I don't even know how I got to this. I'll be honest with you. But anyway, this is why I don't talk as much, because once I start going into it, there's a lot of things that we need to tackle and come together and do. And yeah, that's it. So
you're passionate. That's really awesome. Let me just share my screen real quickly as well, because I'm sharing my screen for a reason. It comes up. So this is the 1,000 Black Boys vision, the short version and the long version. So I want to just touch on the things that Michael just spoke about, because we've got this part about uniqueness. So the full version, the short version is, we exist to inspire Black boys and young Black men to unleash their potential and to live a life of purpose. And then we expand on that. So this is why we do what we do at 1,000 Black Boys. And by this conversation right now, it's happening. It's showing you that this is out there. So we exist to empower and enable Black boys, young Black men to discover their greatness, to unleash their uniqueness. And Michael spoke about uniqueness in each of the boys that are on the line right now, and in their programs is about developing that uniqueness. So us giving them a platform is so in line with that vision. And there's many other organizations out there right now that are listening, that if you share this vision, connect with us, because we want to connect so many organizations together. We actually also want to create a platform where if a father or mother in East London wants support with mentorship on finances, they can come to our site, and literally there's a drop list of who to contact within the area. Or let's say on the flip side, let's say parents are having problems at school, or how the school is engaging with their young one. They can come to our website, they type in where they live, and then they find organizations in their community that can support them. So that's why we do this. So let me continue with this, to unleash their uniqueness, to innovate and to create things that have never been done before. We mean that. We want them to have the audacity to dream big, and in so doing, transform the world. I'm just sharing that because what has been spoken about so far is so in line with that. So I love it. Totally phenomenal. Let's try this one. Okay, let's go back to this one. Brilliant. So I'm literally just throwing it open in time, because literally our time has flown by. If you got tips for people that are listening, tips on how they can keep on moving forward, if you want to talk to other young Black boys, young Black men that are listening to this, what tips would you give them to just keep moving forward? Or just anything generally that you want to say? So I'm throwing this open to everyone in case there's things that you want to say that you haven't had a chance to say so far. So the floor is open, gentlemen.
I think what I'm going to say, and this kind of, I was going to say something else, but I can link it. Link arms with your brothers. That's what I want to say. Link arms with your brothers. As much as I don't see.
Come on. Sorry to interrupt you, but that was a bar. Sorry. I'm
Thank you, bro. So as much as the world, I don't like to see the world as a competition, but unfortunately it is. If you want to get the good GCSEs in schools, if everyone in your year does well, the grade boundaries get lowered. If you want a job, someone else isn't going to get it because they would have done better than you in that job interview. If you want that grant from a company, another company will get it and you will lose. So I like to see people as interdependent. However, it is a competition in life. But this is what I'm saying. A lot of people have the mentality where they have a scarcity mentality rather than an abundant mentality. And that's why there's so many young people, not just young people, but adults too, because this can be generational as well, have a crabs in the bucket / crabs in the barrel mentality. And I think some of this, especially in the Black community, links back to slavery as well. But there's a lot of things that, a lot of habits that we possess which link back to slavery. But
yeah,
that's the whole thing.
Sorry, Jonas. Like the Black people time, that doesn't exist in reality.
Exactly.
Like time is time. If you're 1 minute late, you're late.
Well, yeah.
It's just time. Yeah. So just speaking to maybe some mentality that people have that they think it's okay, but actually no, it doesn't work in reality. But please continue.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So even, you know what, to be honest, I think personally, even if say you have to meet someone at 7 and you get there at 7, in my eyes, that's late. That's just my opinion though. That's
okay.
I know it's controversial, but that's my opinion. Like on time is late, early is on time. That's my opinion. But yeah, so essentially on the news, what we see a lot of the time is, oh, Black boys stab each other, Black on Black violence, And I think personally, Black on Black violence happens due to the fact that there's systematic racism and white privilege in the world, because then people have a scarcity mentality still, and therefore they think the only way to get forward in life is to sell drugs. And then if someone's in a certain territory, due to scarcity mentality, they all say, oh, I gotta kill my ops. Obviously, I've never been in the gang life, but I can tell why that happens and I can see what happens. And that's why that's my opinion. But I think that it's great that, for example, and this is the reason why I say link arms with your brothers and sisters, is because organizations like the 100 and 1,000 Black boys are reaching out to each other to work together. A lot of people would say, even though we're both organizations with a similar mission and similar vision, a lot of organizations would say, oh, they're competitors, we're not going to work with them. However, the fact that we're seeing these organizations work together are actually in our subconscious mind as young people saying, just because they're doing the same thing doesn't mean that we can't work together, because we are stronger together. It talks about this in the 7 habits of highly effective people. Synergizing is so important. Just synergize. 2 heads are better than 1. And I think in our community for a long time, we were competing with each other when really we needed to help each other, because it's not like we can do some things that the white race can. So to be honest with you, that's what I have to say to the young people. Just try to not have a scarcity mentality and link arms with your brothers and sisters, because life's tough out there. Life's not easy. I'm not going to say it is, because it really isn't. And at the end of the day, we need to ensure that as much as life's a competition, we are interdependent as possible.
Awesome. Jonathan, just remind me, how old are you?
19.
19. Awesome. Do you know what? I'm going to put it out there. We might be working on a project in East London. If it's okay, I'm going to involve you in that project.
Oh yeah, of course. Thank you.
No more.
Thank
Awesome.
you. Yeah.
Inspirational, right? So who's next? Go for it. The floor is open, gentlemen.
I'm gonna throw it at Jaden. Let's hear from you, mate. If not Jaden, then Adam.
Let's go to Jaden.
I don't mind. An advice to the young people. I'd say be aware of your surroundings and create a habit of having an open mind. Because if you approach things with an open mindset, you tend to allure more positivity. And it's also good. It's good to just not be passive. It's good to expand your horizon and just, yeah, definitely do that. You know, have an open mind towards things and don't have an assumption towards something from what someone else has said or what you've seen on social media or the news or anywhere. You know, approach it with an open mind. Yeah, and also knowing your surroundings as well, because obviously I could go on and talk about the state of society, the state of the system, and how it's templated for not for us to fail, but for us to be like oppressed, if that's a way of describing it. Be cautious with your surroundings, because you know, as you get older, you know, you will go through a lot, and I can say that from when I was young, I didn't expect it, but I went through it. Just be cautious of what's around you and be eager to learn more, be yourself, and yeah, enjoy life, enjoy the thrills, the highs and the lows, because that's what it's all about. So yeah,
awesome.
That's my
Thank
advice.
you very much.
No worries.
Thank you. So our time is up, but you know, I'll give you guys an opportunity. Adam, go for it. And then we're gonna go to Dominic, and then we'll let Michael round up.
Okay. Yeah. And like me, when I come on, I'm always the faith guy, the guy that's always talking about belief or having a vision. And one thing I would always say is that the foundation of everything starts with belief. It starts with having an idea or beginning with the end in mind, I would say. So yeah, for a lot of the young black males and a lot of the young black females that are coming up now, it's just about starting off with the reason why. And for you guys are talking about 1,000 Black Boys is to unleash the power within us. And yeah, unleash what we're kind of doing already and cultivating the dreams and the visions. And 100 Black Men, they're saying what they see is what they'll be. So just starting with that end reason why. And I've actually found is that when your goal or your vision is bigger than yourself, it's inevitable that's going to happen, because you're going to strive to become better every single day, whether it be 1% better, because that goal or that dream is bigger than yourself. You're not going to be lazing around when lockdown's here. You're going to be making the most of your opportunities. You're not going to be going back to school and being the same person you was when lockdown first started. That's being lazy, really. And sometimes, yes, we can all fall into those habits because we're seeing the same walls every single day. But when you have such a vision, and when you have people around you as well, and a community, and that's what we are. 100 Black Men is a community. 1,000 Black Boys is a community. When you kind of get around like-minded people, like Jonas was talking about, synergizing, and when you begin to come together now, you can bounce ideas of one person. Say you're talking about building the next community up, and you're talking about building the next community up. How can we actually build together? How can we actually begin to achieve some of the goals that we want to achieve together? So yeah, for me, I would literally just say, when it comes back to going back to school, whether you're doing exams, GCSEs, kind of see some of the GCSEs that you want to achieve already. If you go around my room, we have vision boards and stuff like that. And it's because I really believe that I can achieve those things. I've got goals that I say to myself, affirmations that I say to myself, but it's because I really do believe that I can embody those things and I can actually become that person that I want to see. So yeah, I just want to leave off by just saying, be the change that you want to see today and forever, really. But thank you, guys.
Awesome, that's brilliant. Just really quickly, Dominic, some words from you, and also say hello to Jeremiah for me. He was on the program we did November, December last year. He looks just like you as well. You just got more hair.
I believe that working together within the Black community is extremely vital for Black people. My dad has told me many times before that working together is the way that we can build a foundation for the future generations to come. Instead of blocking each other's path, whether it's to get jobs or build businesses, we should invest into ourselves in order to have a more prosperous Black community, like people have done with Tulsa. And now if we continue doing it now, we won't be like blocked by other races. And while we're doing this, it's best that we don't also use our togetherness to push away other races, that we should try and come together as a humanity and a community all together.
Awesome. I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Michael, just really briefly, if that's all right.
All right, sorry. Okay, I'll do a... Oh, actually, wait. Lewis just said he wants to say 30 seconds.
Lewis, go for it, Lewis.
Okay, yeah? 30
Oh
seconds.
no, I was trying to respect Ademola's time and his schedule, so I was gonna say I'm happy not to, but I was just gonna add to everything that everyone said because I think that's fantastic. And it's just to say that in the process of looking to progress, try to be patient as well, though, and where possible, try to appreciate that we live in a very loud world. We live in a very loud world where people are trying to guide us to do things because that is what seems to be the most exciting. That is what seems to have the most energy, the most focus. But actually, you're never going to feel as if you can progress unless you're in line with whatever's innate to you. So try to develop patience and do a lot of self-reflection in the process of things. Do you know what I mean? Like, I hold my hands up and say, there are times I'm not as active in the 100 as some people may expect of me and all of that. But guess what? Unapologetically, I need time for me in it so that when I contribute, we move. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not about me doing it just because it's the thing to do. So that's all I would say as well as a tip from me is please be patient within it as well.
And just to say, if you guys are available, we're on Clubhouse. If you're on that from 8 till 9, one of my mentors is leading the room. I'll announce it later. We're talking about mental health and wealth creation within the Black community. Cool. Michael, go for it.
Amazing. So yeah, thank you again, Ademola, for bringing us on. Again, just to quickly do a few plugs for the 100. I'll drop the link in the YouTube for our website and stuff like that. It is our 20th birthday next month. We're going to be running a host of events, external events for each pillar that we have. So there'll be a education event where you'll see the young boys again and a few others, and they'll be talking about their experiences during school and how they think that things can change or they can better the school. There'll be a mentoring event, which is called Audience with Our Community, that you'll see. I'm hoping that 1,000 Black boys will come and join us on that as well. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing a host of different organizations together, because what we're trying to do at the moment is we're not trying to tackle this by ourselves. There's an issue that we need to tackle in the community. So we're hoping that with all the different organizations, we can bring you on. We can bring you on as like the panelists. We can ask you guys questions. Where do you think we should go from here? How do we come together and bring all our resources together? That's what we're trying to do. And then the following week after that, we have our health and wellness as well, where we'll be doing an external event. And then lastly, we'll be doing economic empowerment, where there'll be one day there'll be a business seminar by our economic empowerment team. They'll be telling everyone how to develop their businesses, especially during COVID and coming out of COVID, if we do come out of COVID on the 21st of June. And also on the Sunday, there will be an event which will be hosted by Adam, Jonas, Vanessa and Amunet, who are our alumni. And they'll be talking to different businesses and professionals within the community. And we'll be asking them questions. So how did you get to this stage? How do we accumulate more wealth? How do we make sure that we can pass that wealth on to our young people as well, and ensure that we don't just pass on the wealth in terms of money, but we pass on the wealth in terms of knowledge as well, so we can 100%. Keep it in the community. So I think that's what we're going to be doing during April. But a show of like what we're trying to do is coming on platforms like this. At 7 o'clock, we're jumping on Manhood Academy's platform as well. They're talking about protecting our assets, which they're putting their assets as our young people. How do we protect them? How do we grow them? So there's all these different things that we're trying to do. Again, in April, I think you're going to see a lot of what the 100 is trying to do in terms of collaboration and unity and coming together as not only a community but a village and building like our own nation. Things like watching like Black Panther and having like Wakanda, we're seeing it as a fictional, like a movie or something, not knowing that it can happen. Like Akon is doing it by himself in Africa. So why can't we do it? Why can't we do it here in London? So that's what we're trying to achieve. And our ultimate goal, like I was saying before, is that any young Black person that wants to have a mentor or has a need for a mentor can do it. And that doesn't have to be from the 100. We're just providing the hub. So any other organization could be the mentor for that young person. And we can continue to grow each other. But what we want to do is we want to start off with using a building as a tool for that to happen. In that building, we can all come together. It's not the building for the 100, it's a building for every single person. Instead of renting from whoever it is, rent from someone or buy into the building. So we can all have something that we can say, this is ours. This is our ownership. We need to start owning land. We need to start owning buildings within central London. We have buildings, restaurants, everything all on the outskirts, but we need to go slap bam in the middle of central London and say, this is us. We as the Black people, this is what we own, and we're gonna build from here. And then who knows what's gonna happen in the future.
Awesome. If you send us information about that, so yeah, let me know the dates. I would. So Dario predicted I'll be on there. Maybe get the team along as well. But yeah, I'd love to support what you guys are doing. And if you send us some information, we can share that on our database with people. So we want you to win, because when you win, we win. So yeah, awesome. Well, gentlemen, for those of you that are listening, we went over slightly, but I think that was very, very useful to listen to all of this powerful information. And this is proof. So, gentlemen, all of you can unmute your mics. But thank you for being on. It's a real pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Ademola, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Thank you.
make a difference. Keep going.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Let's transform the world.
Let's do it. Let's do it. It starts from today.
100%.
See you later.
See you guys later.
Right, that was great. That was phenomenal having those gentlemen. Let's have a look. Wow. Okay. That was amazing. So seeing firsthand what 100 Black Men of London are doing, and that's the proof. They had 5 people on they've been through their process, and that's the result. It's possible. It happens. So the time is now 51. So this is scheduled to go until 7 p.m. If you can give me up until 10 past, and by then or before then, we'll be off this. I gave the 100 Black Men of London a bit more time just because they were really sharing some really powerful stuff. We had young people that are there that are sharing incredible, inspirational, wise words beyond their years. So I wanted to give them that platform to speak. So give me till 10 past and we'll be done. So 10 past 7 and we'll be done. And you can obviously always come back and watch this again. So in closing, let me share this. Let's have a look. Maybe this way. No, this one's better. Cool. So we're concluding. Oh, actually, I'm on the wrong page here. So please bear with me while I remove this one from here. So I'm looking at my screen on this side while I close today's session. Just rounding up, ladies and gentlemen. Let me share my screen. I hope you found this useful. For those of you that are online with me and you've been watching this, please press the like button so I know that you've actually enjoyed this, or give us the heart shape. And also your comments as well. How have you found the session? What did you find most inspiring? It'd be great to really hear that, and just to hear your thoughts as well. There we go. Cool. So the key points. So we started off with the Brave Project with Donnell, Ashan, and Chris, and just talking about suicides amongst mental health amongst young Black boys, and the things they're doing to transform that. They're doing some incredible things. She gave tips about, as parents, go and be governors in your children's school. Be school governors. It makes a huge difference. And there's no such thing as hard to reach. You've just seen incredibly talented young Black boys and young Black men come on today and just share with you incredible things that they're doing. So they're not hard to reach. They're right there. They're very, very sharp. It's just how we connect with them. If the education system won't do that, we can do that. So that's what the Brave Project covered. Then Makeda's incredible business, Makeda Makes, shared her story, helping young people to get into the creatives. So young people that are naturally talented and gifted in that area, she works with them to further their passion and to take them forward. And she puts this structure and system around them to accelerate their growth and development. I think that is amazing. So reach out to her. Her details will be available, as will the Brave Project. And then we had this amazing conversation with Kondwani from Fresh RB, with Michelle from Learning in Action, and from Amy from the School of Social Entrepreneurs, and the program with PwC to really empower Black entrepreneurs. So their program is available for you to get involved with. They've got different things that they're doing, so be a part of it. So that's there. So their details will also be on our website. And we just spoke about the solutions. Talk about the solutions. There's a program that 1,000 Black boys are a part of, along with what I do with Get Hench. And we're creating a program with the other entrepreneurs to have a program that supports Black social entrepreneurs to literally accelerate and to disappear barriers, is what I'd say. Inspirational. And then we just heard from the 100 Black Men of London. Wow, wow, wow. That was powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. And look out for the events that they're going to be doing next month. If you're not already on our mailing list at 1,000 Black Boys, please go to our site and just join. So when we start to send out information about what's currently available, you'll have access to that. So that's a summary of today. So let me go. Let's have a look. What's next? So as we're closing, I'm going to give you 3 tips that I'm going to say for you to take with you. 3 is a powerful number in terms of mindset and coaching, and in terms of transformation. Doing things in 3s is very, very powerful. The mind just receives it more powerfully. If it was 2, it's not as powerful. 4, not as powerful, but 3 is very, very powerful. So I'll have 3 tips for you. And then there'll be 3 quotes for you as we close. I love quotes, so I'm going to give you 3 more. And then going to give you future dates. Then I'm going to thank the team. So I won't necessarily close in this order, but these are the things that we're going to go over. And if you're on Clubhouse, join us at 8 o'clock. I'll share that as well. So future dates. So our future dates, the next one is on the 22nd of May. So this was initially scheduled for the 29th of May. That would have been the May bank holiday. We kind of figured, hopefully lockdown ends, and people probably wouldn't want to be indoors on a Saturday afternoon on a bank holiday weekend. So we brought it forward to the 22nd of May. You can register for this on Eventbrite. And then after that, we have our July event, 24th of July. So we're planning in advance. We have dates actually up until December, but we're showing it to you 2 at a time. Let's have a look at the chat. Caroline Mwete said, amazing. Yes, Caroline, totally amazing. Absolutely amazing. Thank you very much. And then Wendy said, all wise words. No, all wise words, because with the exclamation mark. Yes, wise words everywhere. And then Caroline, yep, said that already. We have My Mary 80. Give us like the heart shape. Amazing. And then Jem. Hello, Jem. Thank you, Ademola. Really appreciate you bringing these conversations to the fore. My pleasure. I love it. And so, as I'm continuing with this plot, so those are the dates. Register and also share with people. So 3 tips. Here's my 3 tips. Number 1, come back and watch today's session. Do it in like half an hour chunks. Just soak in the wisdom and the words. Soak in the things that have been shared today. They will inspire you. So as you're going through April and May if you get demotivated or lose focus at any point, come and watch this. You can watch the things we've also done in previous months. They will inspire you. So that's my first tip. You can just break it down to half-an-hour chunks. And reach out to the organizations that we've introduced you to today. Reach out to them. Their details will be on our site. Our goal is to have them on our site by Tuesday this coming week. You can connect with them. Get on the programs. Grow and develop. And also, take photos of the next quotes I am about to show. This will also inspire you. So you have it on your phone. When the thought goes, oh, I don't think I can do it, you just kind of read it. Yes, I can do it. Or it's like, I'm not sure this is a really good idea. Read the quotes and inspire yourself. And also give that to people around you and inspire some bodies around you. So here we go. 3 quotes for you. Here's the first one from Albert Einstein. I'm sure you know this guy. He said, life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. That's life. It's like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Keep moving forward. So that's what Albert said. And then we have this guy, Alexander Graham Bell. You wouldn't have your mobile phones with you if it wasn't for this geezer. Yeah? This guy. So he was the first person to have a practically functioning telephone patented. So his invention makes and has made a huge difference to us today. He was born in the 1800s. I think he passed away like 1922. So this guy's invention is impacting us in 2021 and beyond. So he said, when one door closes, another opens. But we often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the one which has opened for us. So to keep moving forward, look for the opportunities. Don't cry over past mistakes. Learn from them. And then when you look ahead, you will see the open doors for you and take those opportunities. So that's what Alexander Graham Bell is saying. And this guy, Edmund Mbika, is a writer and an author. The answer to every adversity lies in courageously moving forward with faith. Very, very powerful. Please remember this. Take photos of this. Come back and watch this and get some inspiration. So I wasn't quite sure what to call this, but I've got 3 announcements for you really quickly as we're closing here. So I thought about this. I just said, you know what, I'm going to put it out there. First announcement, the UK government is doing a consultation which closes this coming Monday at 11:45 p.m. And the consultation is about these COVID status certificates. They're doing a review and they're calling for evidence. So go to the government's website and type in COVID status certificates to give your feedback. Give your feedback on this. Give your thoughts on this. So don't just sit there and be like, oh, it's too big for me. I can't possibly make a difference or have an influence. Don't listen to that lie. Your feedback is needed. So please go to this website either today, tomorrow, or Monday morning or Monday afternoon before the consultation closes and give your feedback on, do you want to have a COVID certificate confirmation to go to Tesco, to go to the pub, to go out, to go to different places? Do you want that? Give your feedback. Very, very important for you to do that. Don't be passive. Be active. Life is a participation sport. You're not a spectator in life. It's not allowed. Second announcement. So this gentleman, if you remember, if you watched our December event, David McQueen, he's an executive coach. So he coaches people that run big businesses. He's got some big, huge clients on his client list. So he knows his stuff, right? Brilliant at what he does. If you just want to get a glimpse of what he does, listen to our December event that's available on our YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and just listen to his words. This guy is absolutely inspirational. So David's doing a couple of things that I'd like you to be aware of, right? One of them is he's launched an organization called the Black Founders Hub. And this is really a mastermind and a hub for Black entrepreneurs who want to grow their businesses to 6 figures and beyond. So £100,000 and above. If you're that kind of entrepreneur, reach out to them. So go onto the blackfoundershub.com, blackfoundershub.com, and just register your interest. Let them know that you want to have that support and that mentorship and that guidance. They know their stuff. So if you want to be earning £100,000 in your business, get hold of these guys immediately. Don't delay. Do not delay. I'm also going to talk about maybe in our next one. So with GetHench, we've launched some coaching programs for business owners and also for young people, which we're going to be telling you more about in our May event. We might also email you about that if you're on our mailing list. So this is the announcement from Dave. And also, I've got to say this, in our December event with Dave McQueen, we said that we're going to arrange a special coaching session for young Black entrepreneurs. So we're going to announce that shortly. It will be actual coaching and advice on how to grow your businesses, on how to put systems in place and structures in place to turn your idea into a revenue generator. And you can come along with questions, and we treat those questions in that coaching session. So we'll let you know when that will be. So please look out for that. And if you're not on our email list, please join it, because we're here to support everyone. And let's have a look. And then the third one, for those of you on Clubhouse, so this is one of my mentors, Viva Moon. He's got a deep voice, that's why I say Viva Moon like that. He actually also spoke in our August event as well. So at 8 o'clock, we're on Clubhouse. We're talking about mental health and wealth creation. Going to go from 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. So after this, I'm going to be on there. Come along and join us. And also share how you found today's 1000 Black Boys event. And also share this with people. Come on. Don't be shy. If you don't know what Clubhouse is, I call Clubhouse the Uber social platform. It's not just a social platform, it's a whole nother level. It's amazing, amazing, that platform. So that's the third announcement. So it's with Viva Moon and Fiona Small. So I'm closing now. Yep, rounding up. So a big thank you to the team. These guys have been amazing. I thank Joanne for the emails that have gone out. For Louipa on social media, thank you very much. Follow for creating some of our creating the video for us. Thank you very much. The team for sharing this. Sylvester, Michael, all of you. Thank you very much, and thank you for your contribution and your participation. A big thanks as well to all of our speakers today. Really great to have you all on. And there's one person that I want to say thank you to. So she supports with contacting the speakers, emailing the speakers. Like earlier, when it got dark in this place, the person who turned the light on was this amazing person, right? When I have ideas, she's the first person that hears about it, apart from myself. So, my wife, Pamela, are you going to come and show yourself on camera? She might not come and show herself on camera, but baby, thank you very much. I appreciate you, and thank you for your support. And what I also want to say, so that you know about Pamela, is that she has 3 businesses. 3 businesses, right? And I'd like you to look up these businesses, right? So one of them is Unveiling Pearls. And they do incredible work with women, young women, in terms of coaching and developing them. It's an incredible thing. So please reach out to her. Reach out to Unveiling Pearls. You can find her. Just Google Unveiling Pearls, and then that comes up. Her second business, Unveiling Pearls Jewelry. So they create these unique, bold, phenomenal, fantastic, fantabulous jewelry. It started off with actual pearls, because how pearls are made is very unique. So pearls are made when even like a little bit of dirt goes into an oyster, and it's that dirt that literally has the pearl develop into what we see today. So almost to kind of say that the challenges that you experience in life is a part of you being made into a pearl. Wow. And they do jewelry to celebrate that. So check them out. So on the social media platforms, on Instagram, and check out the website. And the third business, Unveiling Beauty. They do incredible beauty products, not fully launched yet. I've been testing them and it really works. Look at my smooth skin, my lovely smooth skin. Look at that. So it's down to that product from Unveiling Beauty. So thank you, wife. You're amazing, Pamela. And those are our businesses. Check them out. Where are we? 7. Cool. So I'm reminding you of the Martin Luther King quote. Take a photo of this if you don't remember it. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. By all means, keep moving. So stay connected with us. We're on Instagram, Twitter at 1000 Black Boys, Facebook and YouTube, 1000 Black Boys, website, 1000blackboys.com. Thank you very, very much. Stay in touch and see you on the 22nd of May. Thank you, Donnell. So I'm hearing the Brave Project shares your vision. Thank you very much, Brave Project. We share that vision. Let's work together and transform this whole place. World 100 Black Men, totally. They do incredible work. Very inspiring. I totally agree. It's very inspiring. Thank you, 1000 Black Boys, for creating this phenomenal event from all of us at the Brave Project. Yay! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our pleasure. And in closing, our slogan, let's all partner together because it's possible. We can make a huge difference. What we see today doesn't need to be the story in 10 years' time or even in 5 years' time, with us collaborating and working together and making a huge difference. So what you might see, so we say 1000 Black Boys, but get this, when the world transforms, everybody benefits. If one person in our human family suffers, we all suffer. So when the lives of young Black boys, young Black men are working powerfully, we get to transform the world. So if that's your game, reach out to us. We'd love to connect with you. So that's it in closing. Thank you all very, very much. Have a great Saturday. See you in May and look out for our emails and us on social media. See you later. Bye-bye.